Yes.
Shall we begin? We're all good to go?
Yes.
Okay.
Do it.
More heresy, the better.
It is the 41st millennium. For more than 100 centuries, the Emperor has sat immobile on the golden throne of Earth. He is the master of mankind by the will of the gods, and the master of 1,000,000 worlds by the might of his inexhaustible armies. He is a rotting carcass writhing invisibly with power from the dark age of technology. He is the carrion lord of the Imperium, for whom 1,000 souls are sacrificed every day, so that he may never truly die. Yet, even in his deathless state, the Emperor continues his eternal vigilance. Mighty battle fleets cross the demon-infested Miasma of the Warp, the only route between distant stars, their way lit by the Astronomicon, the psychic manifestation of the Emperor's will. Vast armies give battle in his name on uncounted worlds. Greatest amongst his soldiers are the Adeptus Astartes, the Space Marines, bioengineered super warriors. Their comrades in arms are Legion, the Imperial Guard, and countless planetary defense forces, the ever-vigilant Inquisition, and the tech priests of the Adeptus Mechanicus, to name only a few. But, for all their multitudes, they are barely enough to hold off the ever-present threat from aliens, heretics, mutants, and worse. To be a man in such times is to be one amongst untold billions. It is to live in the cruelest and most bloody regime imaginable. These are the tales of those times. Forget the power of technology and science, for so much has been forgotten, never to be relearned. Forget the promise of progress and understanding, for in the grim, dark future is only war. There is no peace amongst the stars, only an eternity, carnage and slaughter, laughter, thirsting gods. Our journey begins in the heart of the Calexis sector. Hang on a sec. I think I'm getting a bit of mic interference from your head.
Chop.
There's some chop. It's getting choppy. I can't hear you all. That's better.
I'll do that. I'll do that until I have to speak. All right.
Yeah. You can mute yourself as well. You can mute your comms. Oh, that's fine. That's fine. Anyway, where was I? So, we begin our journey deep in the heart of the Calexis sector, on the capital world of Scintilla. Here, the Holy Inquisition holds its seat of power in the Tricorn Palace. Far above the surface, space vessels dock with the orbital network, taking on board materials and manpower. A flotilla of craft come and go through the busy space lanes, while cargo lifters rise and fall between the network and the massive hive structures below. One such vessel is the Emperor's Grace, a sleek and deadly strike cruiser. It has recently returned from an expedition to the Coronis Expanse in order to restock much-needed supplies. Its master, the Inquisitor Lucius Alexander, journeys to the Tricorn to report on his expedition before it heads out again to the furthest reaches of charted space. Following his personal report to the Lord Inquisitor Caden, Lucius must needs haggle with the few inquisitors that he maintains links with. One such is Inquisitor Varak, whom, with some reluctance, trades 2 cells of acolytes, cell 53 and 54, as well as several squadrons of crack stormtroopers, to Lucius in exchange for some rare plunder from the Coronis Expanse. Cell 53 is a newly formed cell comprising of 4 acolytes, recruited and put through some initial training and conditioning by Varak. It comprises of a Fenrisian crack commando, a well-spoken Scintilian nobleman, a tech priestess of the Adeptus Mechanicus, and a shaman from the planet of Dusk.
Ooh.
Of each other, these 4 know very little before they are summoned by Varak and instructed that they are to be seconded to the employ of Inquisitor Lucius. Immediately, they are told to gather their belongings and report to the troop transport Delta Epsilon 9 at Shuttlepad Tertiary 814. The troop transport holds perhaps 200 souls in total, along with many cargo containers and personal effects. The majority of the men are stormtroopers, fully armoured in carapace and armed to the teeth. Sergeants patrol the vessel, ensuring that all are properly strapped in for the ascent. The orbital ascent is gentle and uneventful, and the transport docks with the orbital network. There is an awaiting servitor to guide you to the Emperor's grace. Follow! As you follow... As you follow to the boarding bridge to the vessel, you glimpse sight of it from the viewport. So I'd like you all, please, to make intelligence tests. And Johnny, I'd like you to make both an intelligence test and a tech use test, please.
Can I just say that this is my first ever role as a player in almost 30 years of doing this shit.
Easy, Dave, easy.
It's a momentous occasion.
Don't fuck it up, Dave.
No pressure. What was it, an awareness test?
It's just an intelligence test. Where's my bloody dice gone?
An awareness test for me as well, yeah?
It's an intelligence test for everyone, and for Johnny, I'd like to make an additional tech use test, which I think is also intelligent.
I failed my tech use test.
Get it! It's going well.
Wow. Oh, yeah. I like how you're using this functionality that none of us have ever bothered to use, Dave, in all the time we've been playing. I think that's most impressive. Hayden looks like he's passed as well. James, is that pass for you, mate?
What is it? I'm not there yet.
Intelligence.
Yeah.
You definitely passed.
No
one's that.
I passed my intelligence test, but failed my tech use test.
What about James? Is that a pass for you, mate? I can't hear James. Is he with us? Hang on a sec.
Okay.
Oh, no, I don't know. Oh, yeah, they are there. I can't hear you, mate.
Yeah.
I cannot hear you, James. We just have to wait for Brownie. Hopefully, he can get sorted.
I've passed my first intelligence test. Ha!
You are super smart.
My life.
It's the first and last time he'll pass.
So clever.
We don't need intelligence on a mission like this. Only brute force and ignorance.
Well, you're shit out if you're expecting brute force from me, mate. I couldn't force my way out of a wet paper bag.
Yeah, so I can't hear you. Can anyone hear James? It's not just me, is it? No.
Hey,
I
heard
back.
There we go.
Hello, that's done the trick, mate. That's done the trick, buddy.
Plugged it in. Check all the ports.
Better.
Yeah. Marvelous.
Online.
Yeah,
Did you
it is.
pass?
Okay, so here's a pass, okay? So for those of you who have passed, you glimpse the Emperor's Grace from the viewport, and you realise it doesn't look like most Imperial vessels do. It's lacking the Gothic architecture and design that is commonplace amongst many vessels in the Navy. There are no signs of the Imperial Aquila or other marks that would identify this as an Imperial craft. The design of the spacecraft is unlike one that you have seen before. And on roll 20, I'll just show you a image of it. Hopefully that has worked.
Yeah.
Ooh,
So that's an image of the other vessel.
that's very cool.
So you failed your tech use test.
Yeah.
Okay. Right. So
Ooh.
Pretty.
you board the vessel, walking across the delicate boarding bridge. Your servitor guides you towards the heart of the vessel, towards the med bay, and your belongings are transported elsewhere by other servitors. So, do you follow?
Yes.
Yes.
I'm going with the servitor. Yeah.
Yes, I will follow you, mechanical man.
Okay. So you follow the servitor to the med bay. You see that it's large and well provisioned. You estimate that it holds 40, 50 beds. There are banks of diagnosis apparatus and treatment devices line one side of the room. On the other side are large glass cylinders that appear empty. Johnny, will you make another tech use test, please?
I will. 48. That's just intelligence, isn't it? That's a pass.
48, is that a pass for you?
Yeah, that's a pass. Just.
You smart motherfucker. So, Alexa, you realise that these cylinders are cryo coffins. They are used for housing people in an extended stasis.
Oh no.
And you're
Female
also aware.
Alexa.
Cryo coffin.
You are also aware
I
that
wonder
this
what they
technology.
need those for. Used to contain
You are also aware.
prisoners, xenos, mutants, heretics, psychers, sometimes, but dead ones only. Logging. Okay, carry on.
You're also aware that this technology is not without risk. Some people who are frozen simply never awaken, while others awaken having taken cellular damage.
Ooh.
You see a doctor and a tech priest in the chamber, along with some nurses and servitors. I'll show you a picture of the doctor and the tech priest. On roll 20.
Haha, reassuring.
So we're about a chaos battle, yeah?
Just like being at home.
Your robes appear to be a little tattered.
Is
May
the
I
is the
direct you
dis-
to a tailor?
is the disturbing weird naked skinny cat thing climbing up the background, is that there too?
Yeah,
That's
sure, why not? Although, yeah, why not? Why not? But when you look at it, it doesn't seem to like being seen and scuttles off into the.
Vacuum on a cat.
It hides in the amongst the pipework in the ceiling. So
Looks to be good eating on that. I'll find it later.
Maximus.
Okay, the doctor bids you to come and join him, and to sit on an examination bed.
I'll bow to the. I'm just gonna bow to the tech priest, dude. And then just blow some
Okay.
like.
Yeah, he the Technomega spurts a data package confidentially to you in return using long wave electromagnetic radiation.
Acknowledge.
Welcome, little one. The doctor speaks. Ah, yes, the new acolytes. Good. You are right on time. My name is Dr. Festus, and this is my colleague, Technomagus Xerxes. I will now perform initial medical examination.
I'm not sat in this bed at this point in time.
At the minute, like, you all just stood around, so no one sat down as yet. And he goes, "So, who would like to go first?"
Well, as a matter of fact, I recently had my my medical. I'll be absolutely fine, I'm sure. I'm a picture of health, my dear boy.
Yes, quite, of course. And he picks up a data slate that he has to hand, and he peruses it for a second, and he goes, "But you do understand, of course, that the examination is mandatory, and the master insists that everybody must undergo this before the procedure."
I'm sure if Inquisitor Varek was around, he'd understand that I'm quite well and healthy. Yes. I'm fine.
All right, little man. I'll go for a second.
Sorry, what did you say, Hayden? I missed.
All right, little man. I'll go first. Enough of your prittle prattle.
Yes, good man. Jolly good man.
Okay, so the doctor pats on the little bed and gestures you to sit on it, and
what do you think I'm a pet? How dare you pat that bed like I'm some sort of lowly dog?
Oh, I do apologize. I surely meant no offense. And he dons a huge
bit bacon, and I'll let it go and lay on the bed.
He dons a huge magnifying glass that's massively oversized on over one of his eyes, and he begins to look at you, Arnold. So he doesn't ask you to lay down at first. He just asks you to sit up on the bed.
Okay.
And he pulls out a light, and he shines it in your eyes.
Ah.
And then he takes out
bewitched man.
He takes out what appears to be a lollipop stick, and he open wide.
What? Now you think I'm some sort of child to give lollipops to?
No, there's no lollipop. There's no lollipop. It's just a stick.
All right.
Please open your mouth. Yes.
Okay.
He puts the stick. He puts the stick in there and holds your tongue down. Says, "Say ah." That's a classic Arnie noise. And he goes, yes. Then he pulls out a syringe. Says, "Show me your arm."
Okay, check out these babies.
Everyone stood around notices that the arms on this Fenrisian Arnold is are rippling. Yeah, he looks like he works out. So Dr. Festus tries to take your blood.
Needle doesn't go in.
Puts a syringe in, draws some blood out. And he takes out a claw hammer, it appears. Taps upon your knee. Make a toughness test, please, Arnold.
Okay. Give me a second to roll.
I'm going to end up with a broken leg in the opening minutes of the game.
What did I roll?
Your adventure ends here.
61.
61. Oh, that's not good.
Failed.
I'm starting to cry.
Using a fate point.
I might as well use a fate point for my first.
Well, no, that was a trap, by the way. But no. Anyway, he hits you with a hammer, and it. Oh no! You wasted a fate point on that.
I didn't mean to press that actually.
that could mean the difference in life and death. But anyway, he hits you with a hammer on your knee, and your leg does jolt. So your reflexes are fine, but it fucking hurts, and you can't help but release a grunt of pain, which you don't want to do in front of the other acolytes, which you hardly know.
No,
it's Oh my dear! And then he turns to the table of other implements and he pulls out a bone saw. And he turns it on, and he goes, "Just my little joke." Bone saw back on the table.
Can I see if I can crush the bone saw in my grip?
Well, it's
You
still
want
going.
to try and what's still going?
No.
You want to grab the bone saw?
Not
You
the
want to
bone
grab
saw
hands.
blade, just the handle after he puts it down, and see if I can just crush it. Oh, sorry, my little joke.
Can do. Just make a weapon skill test.
I'm a dick,
You can grab it.
Grab the wrong end.
Surely you like the fingers the way they are.
Probably. Actually. No,
It's still rotating slightly, but it is slowing down. Do you want to do this?
no,
Are
I
you sure you
will
want
not.
to do this?
I will not. I'll behave myself. Behave myself. Million.
Good use of the secret phrase, Alan.
There'll be a few nods. You will notice things, obviously, that perhaps some of the players may not notice because you've got obviously the GM experience. So you might see a little bit behind the curtain. So anyway, the doctor says, "Yeah." Oh, go on, sorry.
No, I was just going to say, I'll be trapped in the curtain. Never mind behind the curtain.
So he's finished his examination. He goes, a perfect specimen of human health. Yes, you have passed with flying colours. Very good, very good. Now, yes, we can begin the procedure.
What do you mean, procedure?
Yes. We must put you into stasis for a short time before we reach our destination. So, and he pulls out a syringe. Please just lay back, and this is just a mild sedative and some other additives to protect you.
Okay, let's get on with it.
Okay, he injects you. Okay.
Then, I guess.
The injection is successful, and you just it hits you pretty straight away. You get a pleasant feeling. All of your worries and pains seep away, and you lay down and start snoring. Orderlies transfer you, your sedated form, onto the outstretched arms of a servitor, who then transfers you off to one of these plexiglass cylinders. So the tech priest interfaces with a control console. Okay. The complex machine whirs into action, and a mechanical arm extends and docks with the now sealed plexiglass cylinder. The machine starts making some strange clanking noises, and you're not quite sure, you're pretty sure that this is not supposed to make that sort of noise. Alexa, will you make a tech use test?
I will. I'll just use this thing as well. U100.
No one else has got tech use, by the way, have they? I don't think so.
Hang on.
I don't think you get it because you're not Hive world as such.
No.
Unfortunately.
Okay, yeah. I mean, you're not. You don't make any insightful observation. So a series of pipes connects to this vessel, and freezing cold coolant is pumped into the cell. So Arnold, although you are sedated, part of you registers the liquid level rising and then filling into your mouth and lungs. There's a brief moment of panic. Xerxes continues to control the interface, and the liquid freezes at a temperature much lower than that of ice. Condensate forms on the surface of the plexiglass. The cryocoffin is disconnected, and the servitor carries you out of the med bay.
At this point, I am beginning to inch backwards away from everything that's going on and trying to do it as nonchalantly as possible, thinking that no one can see me.
Okay. Can we do, what would it be? Would it be concealment?
Silent move, I suppose. Concealment's
silent move, yeah.
hiding, isn't it?
Okay, yeah. So, is silent move basic?
Silent move is basic, I believe.
So yeah, make a silent move test then.
Okay. Did that work? Oh.
I didn't see it.
There we go.
7.4 degrees of failure.
Oh,
So you start
shit.
to inch off. You start to inch off backwards, and you accidentally back into one of the beds. And unluckily, there's actually a person in this bed. There's not many people in any of the beds, but you manage to back off into one of the beds, which contains someone sleeping who jolts awake and goes screams a little bit in pain.
Excuse me, my dear boy. I didn't see you there. Oh, excuse my clumsy self.
So everyone notices you, but no one's really clocked that you're trying to get away yet. But you definitely didn't act stealthily. Let's put it that way.
Shit.
So where are we? So Festus calls out after the cryo coffin, and he says, "Don't drop him like you did the last one, for Emperor's sake." So who wants to go next?
If I may,
I'll go
I will
next. Oh. Tech priest
One
first.
at a time, please. You're I'm very, very pleased you're all so keen, but yes, one at a time.
I can wait.
Hey, so
Sign me
you're
up,
stepping
Doctor.
forward? Okay. Right, so Yarn, he goes through the same steps as he did before, shines a light in your eyes, checks the movement of your pupils. He pulls out a lollipop stick. It seems to be the same lollipop stick. He just put in Arnold's mouth. Open wide.
The least of our worries.
Yeah, are you opening wide? Yeah.
Yeah, I'll just be quite impassive through the whole procedure.
Okay. He puts your tongue down, looks inside, says Caesar.
Ah,
Then he pulls out his syringe, take a blood sample. Okay. It's quite, despite the size of the syringe, he does it quite deftly. And then he pulls out his claw hammer and gives you a whack on the knee. So please make a toughness test.
nah, it's a fail. 2 degrees.
Okay. It really hurts, this claw hammer. It hurts about as much as you'd expect. But you know, your reflexes are fine. You can't help but squirm a little bit and let out a grunt of pain. Then he pulls out his sedative, and he jabs you in the arm with a sedative, and it's quite rough. You know, it is much worse than the last time when he took your blood, and you can already feel yourself that you're going to bruise. But he manages to get most of the sedative in, and you start to drift away. You're transferred to the cryo coffin. Xerxes again interfaces with the machine, and this time it doesn't make the horrific clanking noises that it did when Arnold was frozen. It seems to go much smoother, the whole operation. And Yarn, you are sedated and frozen, and transferred off to a storage center.
Hopefully, I won't dream.
That's when they get you. That's when they get you in your dreams. Okay.
Sorry, before you go any further,
No.
Johnny, is your tech priest female? Did you say? You've gone quiet.
Yeah,
but I'm assuming that was a yes.
She is.
It's a tech priestess. Yes.
Okay. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah. Can you
Okay.
hear me now?
So yeah, I can hear you
me?
fine.
No.
Yeah, I can hear you fine, mate.
Yeah.
Oh, are we all good? So next up is Alexa, right? Are you trying to get away again,
Oh.
Dave, or are you?
Oh, ladies first. I insist, please, madam. After you.
Thank you. For
Are
your
you trying to scarper off, Dave? While the
I am.
procedure's
Yeah,
going on?
I'm trying to slowly back away, away from everybody because I do not like anything I'm seeing right now.
Okay. So
I'm just going to turn around and just be like, "It's okay. It's routine procedure. Nothing to be afraid of."
Yes, I'm sure it's quite routine. I just Just start busying myself with a nearby curtain or something to make it look like I'm being nonchalant.
Okay. So same procedure then for Alexa.
Okay. I haven't got a
Starts off with. Yeah. Okay. We'll get to that. So he starts off with a light, and in this case, you don't really have. You have some kind of mechanical replacements for your eyes. You've got lenses rather than eyes as such. But he still goes through the process, and he watches the how your lenses react. He pulls out the lollipop stick, and he looks around this grill on your mouth, where the lower portion of your face is, or used to be, and he gives that up as a bad job, and puts the stick back in his pocket, and then he tries to take a blood sample, and he's looking around for somewhere where he can actually take some blood. A lot of your body has been augmented with metal components. He ends up stabbing you in the neck with the syringe. Okay, and he does it very skillfully. Doesn't even hurt too much. Takes some blood from you. And finally, he pulls out his claw hammer. Clang! Hits you on the knee. There's no reaction. Then again, you take no damage, or you don't have to make a toughness test, so it doesn't really hurt. And he goes, yes. And he pulls out a data pad and looks at it a bit and goes, yes, quite. Yes, okay. And he and says, right, now time for your sedative.
Powering down.
You start to power down your systems, and you already begin some of the stasis procedure yourself. And he seems a little confused by this, but he goes in again with a sedative in your neck again, just to be on the safe side, because he's not quite sure whether you need it or not. And again, he applies the sedative quite skillfully. So you're transferred to the stasis tube, and you're frozen, without any issue. So while this is happening, Quintius, are you trying to make a run for it? Yeah.
I tried to sneak away. I made my roll, and it was about as terrible as the last one.
Okay, well, for the record, that is an intelligence roll, but I can still see it's a bad roll. But
it still would have failed.
It still would have failed, obviously. So you make quite a bit of racket, but Dr. Festius doesn't seem to, he looks over his shoulder slightly, and he does notice you heading off, and but he doesn't say anything. He's focused on his on his task. But one of the nurses starts to walk towards you. What are you doing?
Is the nurse heading straight towards me, looking at me?
Yeah. You think she's clocked you, and she's walking off to see where you're going.
Is it a man or a woman?
It's a woman. She looks quite young.
My dear girl, my apologies. I appear to be in the wrong place. I was expecting to be meeting Inquisitor Varak today, and yet somehow I appear to be on this station, and quite frankly, that strange gentleman with all the needles and hammers and such like seems to be causing a little harm to his patients. I was wondering if you would be kind enough to show me to the exit, my dear.
Okay, she seems slightly confused, and she says, we were expecting 4. We were expecting 4 people.
Yes, I'm sure you were, but I've changed my mind. That's it. I've changed my mind. I would like to go home. Mumsy will be putting tea on any moment now.
Okay, make a charm test, perhaps.
Okay.
Let's see if we can succeed in having Dave leave the party before the campaign begins.
Oh!
For a moment there, she seems almost persuaded by your words, but then she goes, "No, I'm quite sure that it is you who was meant to be here, and I really must insist you come back for the procedure. And if you do not, I will have no choice but to inform the interrogator."
The interrogator?
Yes, interrogator matters. And trust me, you do not want to upset him.
Interrogator Matters, you say? Have I been cast in some ghastly role from which I do not have the script shown to me? Is this improv class? I must proceed. Be brave, Quintius. Be brave and strong. The applause will be worth it. Yes, very well. I will not disappoint this Inquisitor Mathis, whatever you said. Very well.
Interrogator Mathis.
That's what I said.
He's the right hand of the Inquisitor. Yes.
Right.
Good. I'm glad you've seen reason. Please come this way. It will be mostly painless.
So I'm going to proceed towards the doctor, but as I'm going, I'm still chatting to the nurse and just trying to make light of the situation, almost as if I'm trying to put myself at ease as much as I am her. And I'm saying things like, "Oh, he's the right hand. Tell me, who is his left hand? Does he even have a left hand? Is it a mutant hand? I'm sure he's not a mutant." And I'm just babbling nervously, basically. Okay. Right, I'll sit on the bed.
Just give me a sec. Okay, just give me a sec. I've got to remember to make notes, Dave, because otherwise I'm going to look back at my notes the next day and I realise there's nothing there, just an empty sheet.
Yeah.
I'll have to do it all from memory. My memory's shit.
And every now and then you come across a note that says something like +10 egg. And you're like, what?
The other thing is my handwriting is absolutely diabolical. It's like as bad as a doctor's, you know what I mean? So I can even look at my own handwriting and not understand what the word is. That's the situation I'm in. Anyway, so again, the same.
Sorry. My notes from Saturday night say something about dick, rectal, and I've no idea why. Anyway, sorry, carry on.
Oh yes, quite. So you sit down, and Dr. Festus goes, "Is there a problem?"
No problem, Doctor. Dr. Festus was it at all? How do you do?
Yes.
And I reach out my hand to shake his hand.
Okay, you shake his hand. His hand is quite sweaty, and now that you're close to the guy, you can see that he's got quite a misshapen head. It's quite misshapen. Bordering on mutation. And you also see that his teeth look razor sharp.
I'm gonna try badly to not stare at his misshapen head and teeth, and try and make it unobvious, but do a really bad job.
Okay. Don't know what to do here. I was going to say make a deceive roll, but you're almost trying to fail your own test, so I don't know. So make a deceive roll with -30, I guess.
Okay. That seems fair. Deceive.
I'm not quite sure how to do this, but yeah.
No,
we'll figure it. We'll figure it out as we go along.
Deceive with -30. Oh my god!
So you try not to obviously look at his ugly, gruesome shape and visage, and he just seems blissfully underwear as he's going through his apparatus, and he's just clueless. He just doesn't realise that you are in fact
staring
ghast looking this massive noggin that's just kind of warping out to one side.
I'm basically doing this, but every time he makes eye contact, I'm going.
Yeah, he's blissfully unaware. It's almost like he doesn't realise that he's such a freak, and he just it's almost like he's blissfully unaware.
Okay.
So
I'd love to see his
he pulls out his light. Sorry, mate. What's that, Hayden?
I'd love to see his homeworld.
It's probably
Blessed mind too small for doubt.
It's probably Scintilla, by the way, his homeworld. But anyway, he pulls out his lamp and he shines it in your eyes, Dave.
Oh, crumbs! That's a bit bright. Could you shine that somewhere else, please, sir?
Hold still. This is very important. No talking.
I do apologise. Please don't report me, will you?
No, yes, no. No, yes, no, of course. And then he pulls out his lollipop stick, which you're now certain has been in the mouth of both Arnold and Yarn, but not Alexa. And he says, "Open wide, please."
Are you sure that's quite sterilized? The transfer of germs could be. I'm sorry, I'm doing Varak's voice. The transfer of germs, my dear boy, could be quite detrimental to one's health. But because of my enunciation, my mouth is opening quite wide as I'm speaking.
So he just jabs the stick in, puts your tongue down, and say, "See, which you automatically do anyway because you're like, ah. So, you don't really need to be told. And he goes, "Yes, I guess that will do." And he then moves to take your blood. Are you accepting the syringe?
I'm staring at it with abject horror, and the horror goes beyond just my general wimpiness. This is obviously, something about the needle disturbs.
Oh, right. Have you got a phobia about needles?
Not a phobia as such. There was, things in my backstory that are trying to,
come out. Okay.
Yeah.
So he says it's just a little prick, and he jabs he jabs the syringe in, but you kind of flinch because you don't want it there, and it makes it like it doesn't go in properly at all, and a lot of the sedative just sprays out onto the bed beside you. But a small amount goes in, but it really hurts the process.
Right.
And you start to drift off, but you're still probably a bit too awake. You think you're probably still a bit too awake.
Oh shit!
As you're transferred off into the plexiglass cylinder, and Xerxes presses a few buttons. Okay. The cylinder starts to fill up with liquid, and you're definitely not sedated enough for this, Quintius.
This is one of my real life. This is one of my real life nightmares.
Oh, I'm so happy. We're barely an hour in. We're not even an hour in. So it's filling up with this coolant. Starts, you start to thrash around a bit, but by now the process is too far gone, and Xerxes looks a bit flustered, even though he's mostly mechanical. He still looks a bit flustered. And the liquid fills up in the cylinder, and you start to drown in this fluid. And then there's another button's pressed, and you're all freezes, and you are incredibly cold for a moment, and then nothing.
How to try and get your character killed in the opening scene.
Okay.
He's pretty
all,
oh shit!
So you all transferred to a cold room in the storage bay, and you sleep, as Jan requested, a dreamless sleep.
Blessed.
Probably for the best.
Now, I'd like you all to go on to roll 20 if you're not on there already.
Okay.
And I'm going to move you on to the character selection screen.
Ooh.
Okay, so Arnold, I'd like you to pick a token, which will be your avatar.
Okay, character selection.
Yeah. So are you on roll 20? Can you see the screen?
Yeah.
So I've highlighted there should be 5. There should be. This is my first time dicking about roll 20, but there should be 5 men there. And they're in the top right corner. Can you see them?
Oh, 1 second. I've just got to move my screen around.
Okay.
There we are. I had my character sheet up.
No worries.
Okay, where am I looking?
So in the top right of the screen, I'm hoping you can see 5 different avatars.
5 different avatars. Oh, yeah. Oh, no.
Can you see them? No?
It's 1
Can
second.
everyone else see them?
I can see them.
Okay.
I can see them.
Wait a second.
Okay. Okay, so everyone can see them but the person who needs to.
Yes.
Ha, found them. I found them, right?
Found them? Great. Did you zoom out, did you?
I've forgotten how to get everybody's thing out of the way. So these are our avatars, are they?
Well, I'd like you to pick one. I hope that one of them will be suitable for you.
Pretty cool.
Any one of them takes your fancy?
I quite like. I do like this. I like the top one, but then I quite like the bottom of the one in black as well. He's pretty cool. I like his head. Anyway, I'll go for the guy in armor with unless you can find a beefcake at some point in time.
I've done my best to find you all something which I hope you'll like. This is what you've got for now. Like I say, it's finding suitable tokens is one of the challenges, I think. So you like the what? Sorry, the which one?
First one, counting from left to right, at the top.
So top left, yeah.
Yep.
Okay. So, all right. Now what's going on here?
Mind you, sorry, Al. I'm just gonna have to go for the middle right, actually, because he does look like my guy. Yeah. Yep. One just disappeared.
Okay, so has he disappeared?
Oh no, it's just
he's just moved.
I've only got a little screen on.
Okay, so let's
He'll do.
He will do. So I just want to check. Can you now move him? Are you able to move him?
Yep.
Yep, cool. And we'll give him. I'll do like Dave does and try and match the colours on your characters. So you'd be like a lilac sort of colour. So now I need to. Nice lilac. So I need to try and put this token into your character sheet now. If you just give me a sec. How do I do this? Edit? Yeah. Okay, so that's loaded onto your character, and we'll save that there. All right, so that's Arnold.
Arnold.
Next up, you've got a significantly. I mean, if Hayden wasn't happy with his choices, I think Dave's going to be significantly unhappy with his. So I'd like to offer you these fine selection, Dave.
Oh, let's have a look. Without a shadow of a doubt, it has got to be the middle row left one because he looks like he's wearing a cravat, and that is perfect.
Okay, Quintius
Tarquinius Thespis III.
Quite. You are purple. So, can you move him?
Yep.
Okay. So I'll now put that into your character sheet.
Kill.
Okay. You're in. You're locked in.
Excellent.
A fine choice, if I do say so myself. Okay, I'll put these. Okay, next up, Yarn. Hopefully, one of these will meet your fancy. Here in the bottom left.
Ah.
That's quite a hard
It's hard
decision.
to tell what they are from top down.
But the pretty
You could always zoom in a bit, mate, if it's... I mean, they're not.
Yeah.
You zoom in a bit, maybe it's a bit clearer.
Oh, I like the guy with the stag horns.
I thought you might.
Yeah.
Is that your pick?
Yeah.
Yeah?
Did you say you're from Dusk, James?
Yes. Basically from Dathomir.
Yeah.
Okay, Yarn.
Horrible, horrible memories.
And your colour is grey. But which grey? So many shades of grey.
So many shades of heresy.
Hopefully that'll do. So, can you move your token now, Brownie?
Yeah.
Very good.
Character sheet.
Yeah. So, character sheet. And then if I do that, so that's locked into your character now. And then finally we have, put these away for now. Finally we have Alexa. Bottom right for you, mate. Have a look, see if any of them take your fancy.
It's got to be the top right.
That was no hesitation. Top right?
Yeah.
Okay, so be it.
Yeah.
Cyber warrior.
And you are green. Okay. So, can you move her?
Necron green.
Blended. Okay, I'll lock that into your character. Okay, all your characters are now done.
Weird.
Okay.
8 o'clock on the dot.
8 o'clock on the dot. So, you sleep a dreamless sleep. The Emperor's Grace begins its odyssey across the stars. First, it makes a series of small, controlled warp jumps to Port Wanda, where it takes on board all personnel and supplies. Port Wanda is a massive void station on the uttermost edges of the Drusus Marches subsector. This is rightly regarded as the last bastion of the rule of the Emperor of Mankind, this side of the Coronis Expanse, and the last stop before entering that untamed region of the Halo Stars. This is a place of desperate hopes and vain dreams. Port Wanda teems with a transitory population of traders, spies, merchant factors, pilgrims and missionaries, amongst which move Adeptus Administratum functionaries and minions of the Adeptus Mechanicus, all feeding on the riches that flow from the realms beyond the warp storms in the Coronis Expanse. Following resupply at Port Wanda, next begins the perilous journey through the Coronis Passage. Go on, Johnny.
Yeah, I was expecting that, and he looked straight at the camera.
Did he? No?
She took him up the Coronis Passage.
No comment, Johnny? No comment about the passage? No? Okay, right. No.
I was just going to slip the ship in through there.
Hopefully it was a smooth pass.
Through its passage.
Just get it out of your system, Johnny. Get it out. Let it flow through the passage. So, the Coronis Passage is a stable but dangerous warp route that passes through the great warp storms separating the Calexis sector from the Coronis Expanse. The passage links Port Wanda and the Drusus Marches to the great star Furibundus and the Imperial Void Colony of Footfall.
Two systems. Corona passage.
Two systems linked by the passage. Coincidence or something more sinister? Beyond Footfall, the mysteries of the Coronis Expanse.
One system here, and then a Corona passage.
The passage is linking the two systems. So the analogy doesn't quite work unless your arsehole connected both cheeks. Which would be a bit weird.
Well, maybe the doctor.
You've set this up, Al.
Maybe the doctor's wired like that. He was clearly a bit mutated.
Yeah.
He was no doctor.
Yeah, he's got his doctor's certificate on the back of a fucking Cornflake packet, that's for sure.
A wandering lunatic. Out of a pack of wheat bits. Something like that, you know what I mean?
He's this guy what sneaks in there and does it as a hobby.
Yeah, we were never even supposed to meet him.
Yeah.
He's just
Just
a
freezes people for a hobby.
He was a medical pervert. That's all he was. He was like,
Well, you all mostly,
had a medical fetish.
I think most of you have done pretty well for the procedure. So most of you, it's a reasonably good percentage success rate.
What?
Superstitious voidfarers call the root the Maw. To their eyes, the Maw is a beast made of warp storms, cunning and malicious, whose crushing gullet must be braved by those who seek to break through to the Coronis expanse beyond.
The more.
The Maw.
Gaping.
Go on. Gaping Maw.
Carry on. Carry on.
Give us more.
Give us more. Many have died in trying and traversing the Maw remains harrowing. Despite centuries of experience gathered
What a way to go.
by navigators and rogue traders. You know, like, I think the majority of this stuff, I have to say, the majority of this stuff is just taken straight out of the lore, but at no point in the books does it say, you must now pause to wait for all the double entendres to seep through.
When I
Probably now
proofread,
One at the start.
when I proofread everything I write, I check for something Johnny will find amusing and delete it, but always a couple get through.
Like, it's impossible, unfortunately. I don't think there's any way I can avoid it in this this section. The problem is now I can't stop seeing it myself as well. So
Yeah.
it's making it hard to read. Some say this ill-omened title came from the first to survive the crossing. That they returned wild-eyed, at the edge of sanity, and few journeyed to the voids again. So I would like you all to make a toughness test. And in the case of Arnold and Quintius, I'd like you to make 2 toughness tests.
Fucking hell.
Right.
I feel victimized.
A pass.
Do you pass?
That's my first one.
What is that? Can't see. Get this thing.
Pardon me.
Dice or that.
Hayden rolled a 60, and that's a pass.
No.
No, 60 is not a pass because he's
Can
not.
I use my fate point?
How many fate points do you have, Hayden?
2, I think.
2. I think you can use your second fate point if you want.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, pass.
You're now out of fate
I know.
points.
I know. But I can always burn one if I'm dying.
I might use the face one.
Yeah, if you want to burn them early doors, be my guest.
Well, if I'm dying, I need to.
I failed
Did you
both
die?
mine.
What's your
fail?
I failed mine.
Okay.
I failed mine.
Can you tell me, guys? Can you tell me how many degrees of failure for each of you? Dave, can you add up both of your rolls degrees and combine them?
Yep. That is a total of. I only just failed the first one, and I failed the second one by 1 degree.
So 1 degree of failure. What about
1.4 degrees in total.
5. Should I re-roll that?
5 degrees? I don't know. Should you?
I don't know.
1 degree.
Okay, let me ask it again. Are you re-rolling it? In fact, James, I'm sorry, James, but you used your fate point in before the game, didn't you?
Oh, crafting.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, you used your fate point before the game to avoid something. So,
Okay.
I'm afraid you can't re-roll. And 1 degree for Johnny. Okay.
Yep.
Right.
I'm not wasting my fate points on a fucking toughness test.
You'll only
Not with
fail.
my toughness.
You'll only fail your re-roll anyway. So.
Yeah, exactly.
The Cronus Expanse is the name given by the authorities of the Imperium of Man to a dangerous, unexplored region of the halo stars located beyond the Calexis sector in the Segmentum Obscurus. As is true of the Calexis sector itself, the Expanse was untouched by the God Emperor's Great Crusade many millennia ago, and so it is a realm of fearsome Xenos, treasures beyond imagining, heathen worlds of men, and the echoes of ancient doom. The Expanse is a scattered, partly explored region on the frontier of the galaxy, containing a few young imperial colonies and vast natural wealth still barely exploited. Rogue traders vie with one another for known resources, heedless of lives lost in the pursuit of riches, while a tentative attempt at imperial colonization follows in their wake. For centuries, rogue traders have braved great evils and the treacherous warp to venture into the Expanse, but their efforts have barely begun to uncover its secrets. Footholds have been built close to the few semi-stable warp routes in the area. Here, resource-rich worlds are exploited, Xenos ruins excavated, trade envoys meet with heathen lords, and imperial colonies are attempted upon sheltered worlds. This effort has been enough to shower wealth and fame upon the fortunate, and to make corpses of the rest. The gateway to the Expanse is littered with broken vessels and tales of the vanished. Beyond these human conflicts lie truly dark and dangerous voids, rife with rumoured terrors, undiscovered stars, and worlds of men who have never known the light of the God Emperor. There are no defined warp routes, no safe ways through the swirling Imperium. These regions hold the fearsome Orc, the treacherous Eldari, and strange ruins that lie beneath the light of dying stars. Most of the Expanse is known to the Imperium only through legend, revelation, and hearsay. Those who venture into it risk their very soul upon the talent of their navigators and on the quality of what little information they have gleaned from those who have gone before. Beyond these partly explored regions of the Cronus Expanse, past deeps beset by pirates and dread Xenos, lie many worlds and strange phenomena which exist as the stuff of dark legend. Some of these uncharted stars were visited by a single rogue trader whose tales are doubted or dismissed by rivals as outright lies, while others are known only from dubious and forgotten or forbidden sources. Other fragments of contradictory lore relating to these dark zones are culled from even more untrustworthy sources, such as the muted astropathic whispers overheard on the warp's twisted eddies, or the falsehoods of the deceitful Eldar, or the ancient myths of heathen worlds given over to darkness for millennia uncounted. Such areas are labelled only as "Here be monsters" on ancient charts, but only the foolhardy or insane would venture to seek their destiny. You sleep. You do not know for how long you sleep. When you awaken, you find yourself in a modest chamber room holding 4 people. For each of you there is a bed, a wardrobe and chest where your gear is stowed, Essentially, there is a metal table with 4 chairs. There is a door that leads off to a washroom and shower, and a main door that leads off to the rest of the ship. A servitor stands immobile in the corner. He does not seem to react to you as you awaken. On the table, there are 4 bowls holding a healthy portion of stew, a loaf of bread, and a pot of hydrogenated fat sits in the center of the table.
Right, I'm just going to get up.
As you awaken, you feel coldness still, deep in your bones. Something isn't quite right, but you're not sure what. Okay, what are you doing?
Does anyone else feel a little unusual? I feel a bit queasy.
Sorry, little man. I'm too hungry to eat, to talk. You see what it's
Too hungry to eat.
I must eat my stew. Get away! Don't talk to me until I feel my face.
Oh, ravenous.
Yeah.
Nice to meet you all again.
Hello. Hello, young lady.
Hello.
How are you feeling? You look a little. I'm just gonna poke Alexa.
You poke her, prod her, and there's no resistance on the bit that you prod.
I'm just gonna poke.
Sorry, not resistance. As in, there's no give. Sorry, in the bit that you prod. As in, it feels like metal.
And then I'm just gonna poke. I'm just gonna poke him, probably right in the nipple. With a metal finger.
Oh, how strange.
What I'd like each of you to do, please, one by one.
Temperature normal.
Ooh. At least it was the nipple.
What I'd like each of you to do, please, one by one, is to just give a brief description of your character, how they visually look to the other players, so everyone can know roughly what they see when they're looking at you. So, Dave, would you like to start? Just a brief physical description of how you look.
Okay. My character is quite lean of build, quite slim. He's about 5'9" in his mid-30s. Very fair skin, blonde hair, quite long, well cut, quite a stylish cut from Scintilla, and he has piercing blue eyes, and he's wearing quite a well-tailored suit. Not the most expensive thing you might have seen on a noble, but still a very good suit. He has a top hat as well, which I like to imagine I've put on by now, and carries a walking cane. And he's ever so slightly effeminate.
Okay, thank you, Dave.
Yeah, we can.
Thank you, Dave. James, do you want to give us a quick description on how your character looks?
Okay. I am quite a tall chap. I'm 2'10". I am a strapping build. I look young. I'm only 18.
Lovely young boy.
Yeah, a lovely strapping young boy. Black hair, green eyes, a ruddy complexion, which I've just looked up is a healthy red colour.
Okay.
And I'm quite hairy. It was just a strange quirk to have, but there you go. Hairy, unkempt, and my clothes were a little bit tattered.
Okay.
But by the way, my quirk that you would notice, I have rather small hands.
How delightful.
Big up to the top with small hands. You know what I mean?
Delicate hands.
Dainty.
Ladies' hands.
You have a woman's hands, Miller.
They may come in useful.
Hayden?
Well,
May come in useful. Hayden, would you like to describe yourself to the other guys?
yeah, I look like Arnold Schwarzenegger when he goes against bodybuilding competition of his life, like dressed in Imperial Guards uniform, but obviously I've got no sleeves because my biceps are far too massive. That's smile a like.
Okay.
Quite an easy description to make, isn't it?
Yeah.
I look like Arnie.
I have visualized
Okay.
Um,
Johnny,
Well,
what you do?
so, you
Just,
know what I mean?
if you could just,
I'll
if
be
you just
looking up at-
imagine,
I'm Arnie. Build. Sorry.
it's okay. If you could just imagine like sort of Vasquez from Aliens, but with like metal bits on there, so quite brawny, like you know what I mean, but with like cybernetic bits and stuff as well, looking priesty, bit dirty, bit scruffy, bit dirty looking, look a bit like a ganger. There's probably some tattoos on the sort of the unaugmented parts of my head, and then I've got a bit of like hair in a slight sort of top knot type thing, like sort of ponytail, sort of going down the back, but that's sometimes going to be worn down to the one side, a bit emo-ish, like, you know, but like it will be dyed as well, but probably something like, you know, probably something sterile, like sort of like a grey colour or something like that. I've got lenses for instead of eyes, so you'll see it sort of looks, I don't know, sort of like eyes, but if you look closer, you'll be able to see the components wearing and stuff inside them. And then there's a bullet wound on the flesh part of my head behind where the augmetics are, and I've got like sort of the bits that I'd be able to sort of plug in and stuff, like trailing down the back as well with the sort of ponytail sort of underneath that. And then my mouth, underneath the mouth, is sort of like just like a sort of circle, but just like a grill. Like that, but quite small, and then like metal plating sort of going up to sort of just underneath the nose, sort of around that bit. So, but yeah, fairly short, like, but like stocky sort of build, but like still very feminine, but like cybernetic as well. There you go. So Cyber Vasquez, basically.
Cyber Vasquez.
Cool. Thanks, Johnny. So yeah, so Arnold, you scran down some stew. You realise that it's a meat stew of some variety, quite wholesome and tasty. What's everyone doing? Anyone else eating?
I'm going to approach it and give it an experimental sniff, and seeing that Arnie here is actually tucking into it, I am going to give it a little taste, see how it tastes.
Yeah, not too bad. It's proper meat. Maybe grox or something. I mean, you've had better food, but you've also had worse. Seems pretty wholesome.
And considering
you are hungry.
Yeah. I'm going to start eating it and then call out, does anyone have a nice Chablis, perhaps? A Merlot even would go rather well with this.
I'm going to go up to it and sort of just dip my finger in it and then just do a temperature test and sort of like you know, see what's in it, what it's made up of, like proteins and things like that, and then I don't really know how I'm going to eat it because I've got no mouth.
Well,
that's a very good question that we've not quite broached upon before. I guess if you can't eat through your grill, maybe you've got some way of kind of some sort of system to blend up food and inject it directly into your stomach or something.
After I've done a temperature test, another finger and basically a small stirring device comes out of it. This is just completely made up. It's not a weapon or anything like that, so it's not going to affect any battles or anything like that. So it comes out and blends it like that. After which a straw comes out of another thing, out of the pinky finger, and then just basically sucks it all up out of the bowl.
We're not going to dwell on the biology of your bionic systems too heavy, but yeah. So you see, if everyone else sees this and they think, "What on earth is this?"
I'm just sort of pausing my mouth going.
And then I'm looking around and go,
You've never.
How do you eat yours?
I'm gonna prod it like Yoda does with Luke's weird chocolate bar that and then I'm gonna start eating it.
It's always best to prod your food. You never know whether it might attack you.
Yep, damn right.
It's always good to make sure that it's safe.
We have any ale?
Alexa, I'd like you to...
Oh, sorry.
Well, you don't know who you're speaking to. You're speaking to the other guy. I was going to say, Alexa, would you make a intelligence test at +30?
Okay. So I'll use the dice on here because it's just easier, isn't it? Theoretically.
That's up to you, mate. It should be just as easy to use your rolls on roll 20. And everyone can see them
20,
as well.
25. Let's get 25 and roll some dice. Do it the old-fashioned way.
Yep, no worries, mate. So that's a pass. Have you got your mobile phone on you, Johnny?
I have.
I'm going to send you a message.
Okay.
I made time out.
Okay, so
Okay.
So some of you are screaming out for drink, for ale, for wine, but there's no one here to serve you. The servitor isn't reacting. You don't see any alcohol.
Service in this place is rather lax, isn't it, my dear boy? I say to Arnie.
How old are you?
I'm in my 30s.
I'm a little bit older than you then. I'm Arnold. It's like what age do we say we are? Al, is it 38, Arnie? Or
I believe so. I mean, say on your character sheet in roll 20. Let's have a look. So I get your character sheet up. It is 38 indeed.
Yeah. Boy, that's so funny. But what was the question again, Dave?
The service in this place is rather lax, isn't it, my dear boy?
Yeah, there's nothing coming. Not even any more stew. Who are you, by the way?
Quintius. Quintius. So I forgot my name there. Quintius. Quintius Tarquinius Thespis III. You may have heard of me, star of the stage, the legendary. Pausing while I remember my notes. The star of the La Scala de Tarsus. I'm sure you must have heard of me.
I was probably too busy shooting people. Oh, sorry. My voice went into Dick.
I don't know, it was kind of a bit almost Ragnar Lothbrok there as well.
Yeah, maybe. Yeah, okay, maybe. I'm sorry. But I was probably too busy shooting people to catch any plays lately. It's been a long old busy week. Yeah.
Shot many people, have you?
Lots, but I've bludgeoned more.
I'm just inching my chair slightly back, like just a few inches away from Arnie, looking at him a bit wary because he is a big chap.
Could not find any matches.
But
on
nice to meet you, and I'm going to stretch my massive hand.
To acting. So I don't actually find any. Never
What,
heard
sorry?
of you.
Oh,
I've basically just researched my archives. My eyes have flickered a little bit. I'm like, no matches found for Quintus. Tertius III.
What is
in relation to acting?
Well, thank you. What's your name?
My name is Alexa 5.0, but you can call me Alexa 5.0.
Alexa 5.0. I'm Arnold.
Pleased to meet you, Arnold. How are
Shake.
you today?
And so shake hands. Give
Got
me
a
a nice
firm
firm grip.
The straw sort of like goes back into my pinky finger, like, and then just the end closes, and then I shake your hand.
Okay. And then I'm going to try shake Quintus's hand as well.
He does gingerly reach out and shakes your hand. It's not a really strong grip, but it's firm and meaningful. Like he's done this before.
And who's Mr. Nice. So shaking hands, and I'm just going to look up at the tall guy in the room and go, and who are you, man? Not sorry. Dick
It's
went
got
out
Dick again.
Yeah.
Got Dick. He's got full Dick.
Your
Yeah,
dick's
I
out.
thought about, like,
But
should
what
I
is your
do some kind
name?
of tribal voice, but
Yeah,
I can't bring myself to do it just yet.
But what is your name?
It's
I must
dangerously
know.
racist.
Well, isn't it? Just a bit of gentle racism between friends.
Yeah. I can't help it. I'll go too far before I realise it.
Oh.
Everything's fine, James, until you start calling people Buana. That's the cut-off point.
I'd love to see someone across seas do an impression of a Lincolnshire man. It'd be so hilarious.
Yeah.
It's good, wouldn't it?
You all throw your names around like there's no danger in that. You can all call
Yeah,
me Yarn.
you're a bit. You're a bit surprised, James. You're a bit surprised. I mean, are these people really giving up their names? You know, so readily.
are.
Surely they're not. Surely they're not that foolish.
I can see them all so green. No idea what lurks in the void. What we're flying through. We should all come
You've
up
no
with different
idea.
names.
You've no idea what lurks backstage, my dear boy. Quite often me.
Surely, no one's that foolish to give away their full true name.
Or to go backstage.
Impossible.
All so naive. My name is Yarn, and I suggest you all come up with different names.
A pleasure to meet you, Jan. Where are you from? You look a little. How can I put this? Underdressed.
I come from a planet called Dusk, a dark planet.
Would I have heard of Dusk?
Make an intelligence test.
Would I have heard of Dusk?
Make an intelligence test.
Ooh. No. No match is found for the planet called Dusk.
No.
You think, Dave, that Dusk is perhaps some sort of, bountiful, like agricultural world, like deep within the solar sectorum, close, towards Earth. You think it's a bountiful agricultural world.
Sounds delightful.
I think it is actually on the surface, isn't it? Until you get there.
I don't think. Not really.
I come from Dusk.
Well,
And the less we say about Dusk, the better.
Dave does know about Dusk. Quintius doesn't.
Quintius has got it badly wrong.
Yes.
Okay, so the door to the chamber opens. In walk. Sorry, say that again, please, mate.
I was just going. By the old father's beard, the door has opened.
So two men stride in. The first looks.
Playing The All Father's Beard by Manowar.
Amazingly, I've written a note here that says, Alexa, play March of the Emperor.
The first of the two men looks like a seasoned veteran. He's dressed in carapace armor, with the exception of the helm, which is attached to his belt. The pauldrons are fashioned into the visage of a skull, as is the helm itself. A bolt gun is slung across his back, and he has an ornate pistol holstered at his left side. Can I have a tech use test for Alexa, please?
Yep. It's a fail.
Okay, you recognise it as a pistol of some kind. The veteran's hair. Veteran's hair is grey, and his face is scarred by burns. His left eye has been replaced by a bionic part, and the ear on his left side of his face is completely burnt away. There is only a hole leading to the ear canal. And behind the veteran is an adept dressed in grey robes. Get it out, Johnny. Get it out.
That's James's fault.
Sorry.
James.
It's
not James' fault. Don't blame James.
I just imagine what's going through Johnny's mind, and then
Yeah.
have a little chuckle.
Yeah, I sort of got that too.
I'm going to take the alternate route to you, Dave. I think I'm going to add in more double entendres. See if I can push it. So, honestly, what are you thinking about a ruined hole in the side of this guy's head, Johnny? I mean, what's going on in your brain, man? I mean, his face has been scarred by flame or plasma or something, and
or something worse.
yeah, he's just got a hole.
Some other blunt
Keep bonding.
instrument.
So behind the veteran is an adept dressed in grey robes. The adept is young and boyish-looking, blue eyes and blonde hair. No bionics mar his body that you can see, and he appears unarmed. And behind the pair hovers a servo skull.
Acolytes! My name is Interrogator Aaron Mattis.
Here.
I'm here to give you your orders from the Inquisitor himself. So,
Yes,
tell me.
He's not a squat now, he's a human.
So, tell me, did you all enjoy your beauty sleep?
Yes, it was most refreshing.
Actually, I was rather cold throughout the whole thing. You should maybe fit those capsules with blankets or something.
Gives you a look. Making a perception test, please, Dave.
Oh, perception.
He has the eyes of a badger.
Oh, just failed.
Yeah, he's not impressed with you, but you don't get any more than that. The adept is moving around the room. He seems to be making observations about each of you, and he's making notes on his data slate. And the servo skull is following him around. It appears to be scanning each of you.
Okay.
Aye. Welcome. Sorry, go on.
Can I scan it back?
Yeah, you don't have much in the way of Auspex system, anything like that, but you can scan it with your augmented eyes.
Yeah, I'll do that.
Make a tech use test.
I pass.
Okay, it's a Gladius format servo skull. It does have an Auspex system built into it. It's purely there as a observational device, no weapon systems or any other functionality. And it appears to be controlled from somewhere else in the ship.
Okay.
Cool.
Aye. Welcome to the Coronis Expanse, but you will be pleased to hear that our journey has been mostly without incident. We have reached the planet of Orpheus 4, and it is here that your first mission will begin.
Johnny, I did send you a text, by the way. Did you see it?
Yeah. Hang on a second.
Nathaniel!
At this, the adept visibly flinches. Is Johnny still there?
Yeah, I'm still
Johnny?
there.
Oh, yeah. Your camera's gone to me.
Yeah, I moved my phone
Fine.
to it, so it's like. Yeah, I read that. That's cool.
No worries. So the adept visibly flinches when his name is called, and then he jumps up and he. Oh no, I'm getting a bit of feedback now. I'm hearing my own voice. I don't know who that is.
Oh, sorry.
Hello. Test. No worries, mate. Go for a slash or something.
Just beat me.
I'll go have a wee as well.
Let's have a wee break. Let's have a wee break then.
Yeah,
Could be
agreed.
A wee break.
Hello?
Hello.
Hello.
Howdy.
Sorry about that. I was bursting.
Yeah, no worries, mate. Like We all need to pee, mate. Just speak up if you're going, man, and then because sometimes I'm in like a Word document, so I won't necessarily see that you wander off. You get me? And then like if you need to wee, I mean, I needed a wee as well. I think everyone did. So you know what I mean. Everyone needed to go.
Time of the night.
Yeah. Like just speak up and like we'll just have a little break. It's no bother.
Sorry, boss.
Hey, it's all
I'll
good.
tell you next time.
It's all good, mate. Yeah. It's all good, man. Like I needed to go. Like, but like what I'm saying is like I'll just keep giving my like monologue, and then I won't realize you've wandered off. So I'll and then I'll just have to do it again. Like,
It's better.
It's all right.
Welcome back.
Ah.
my notes are utterly shit, Dave. They're basically worthless. So I'm really hoping your recording is going to work. But also, I'm quite worried about watching myself back because I find it quite uncomfortable.
So do I, to be honest. I find it really weird. But I mean, my notes when I do take notes, the only things I tend to really mention are things that could potentially have an impact on the plot or a character. A lot of other stuff I don't make much, like little minor interactions I don't make any notice of. Mm-hmm. And I might, in the margin, I'll put things like plus 10 RP, but I won't say what it's for. So often the next day I know, one of you has earned some bonus XP for a good little role-playing session, but I'll have no notes on what it was. Yeah, sometimes I remember it. Ooh. Yeah, I don't know if something happened with Roll20, but the other week, last week I think, when I was updating Leanne's character sheet, I noticed some of her skills and talents that she took last time she leveled up had disappeared. And I changed them back. And then when I looked at my character sheet for Quintius today, he had brass knuckles again. And if you remember, we changed that, didn't we?
Oh, did we? Right. No, I added them back in. That's my mistake. I added them back in, thinking you had them. So you just send me a message on Messenger, and I'll take them out. Because what I was doing, I was looking. Yeah, I mean, I've made like an Excel spreadsheet as well with all your gear and all your stats and everything on it, so that if anything was to happen, I could look back and see what's changed session by session.
I mean, all I've changed.
Just remind me what we did.
I changed it myself because it was brass knuckles originally, and I think you put that in. And when I wrote my bio and everything, I asked if I could have a walking stick or a walking cane, didn't I? That was basically a club instead.
Yeah, that's no bother, mate. Just change it.
I've changed it already. It's only a primitive weapon. It's not like it's anything fancy. So.
No, it's no bother. It's just like I say, I looked back on my I made like a master character spreadsheet with all your information, and I must have looked at that and said, "Oh, there's brass knuckles there," and I couldn't see that your weapon was in there. So,
I seem to remember.
Yeah, it's no big deal, is it?
So, because it doesn't seem very gentlemanly to have brass knuckles. That was the discussion, wasn't it? So.
Yeah. I mean, it makes perfect sense. I've got no problem with that at all, mate. And really, you shouldn't be getting into close combat anyway. So.
It's more of a prop.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
It's maybe got an Aquila head or something. I don't know. I haven't thought that far.
Yeah, Johnny, just make sure you put your little finger into that pot noodle and suck it all up. But yeah, I like that, Johnny. I was like, what do we do here? I have no idea. It's like, how do I eat? I don't fucking know. Let's just make it up as we go along.
Put it into a capsule and sit on it.
Condense it down and then just insert it.
And eject the capsule when you're done.
Snort it through your eyeball.
Maybe. Pour it into my ear.
Your ruined ear. Ruined ear hole. I know that was the other guy. Anyway. Ow. Well, I'm just gonna grab a beer while we wait for James.
I should have found this for you like this, but...
Be right there, grabbing a drink.
I'm enjoying this so far.
Oh, sorry, mate. Cool. Oh, good. I'm glad you're enjoying it, mate.
Enjoying this so far, yeah.
I'm glad you're enjoying it, buddy. We've we've barely got begun. I really enjoyed the fact that Dave said, "Oh, this is my."
This is like world introduction, character building, and
Yeah.
that stuff. And I realise what's going on.
Yeah. You've got to set the scene, haven't you? You've got to build the world and build the the environment that we're playing in. So yeah, can't just chuck you straight in. Exactly. I say especially enjoyed when Dave said, "Oh, this is actually one of my living nightmares." that pleased me greatly, I must admit. So
Yeah.
Oh.
Yeah, but I think Dave's totally out of place with the rest of the group. From what I've seen,
you could look at it that way, or you could think I fill a niche.
You definitely feel it. I just mean in terms of like, they're definitely not the sort of people you used to hang around with. Put it that way.
No, they're not. But I am planning on befriending Arnie, mainly because I want to convince him to stand in front of me a lot. What was the name of the interrogator again?
It's Interrogator Aaron Mattis.
Hey! Well played.
Very good. Well played. Oh wow, nice one.
I don't get it.
I don't know how you do yours.
I'm going to break out the tinfoil and shade.
You'll have to do some proper cosplay, Johnny. Yeah. Hayden's nearly there, so
I'm just gonna get a top hat and I'll be fine.
Yeah.
This is just my woolen top.
Okay, are we ready to start again?
Yeah.
Everyone ready?
Yeah.
Okay, so the adept has just had his name called out. Nathaniel! And he flinches, and then he begins to jump into a monologue. The Orpheus system consists of 9 planets, of which 3 are habitable. Orpheus 4 is the closest of these to the star from which the system derives its name. The planet is a frontier world that we believe, although there is a high level of uncertainty, was colonized early in the 40th millennium. Some remnants of imperial technology and faith are present on the planet, but suffice to say that no imperial tithe is paid, and the Inquisition has no jurisdiction here. You are at all times to remain undercover and under no circumstances to make any reference to the Inquisitor Lucius. The Orpheus system lies within an area of space known as the Miasma.
Nathaniel, you wee shite! Keep to the feckin' point, but...
Yes, of course. The planet has one main landmass, and you'll be dropped into the area of the eastern seaboard where the 3 main population centers can be found. You should report to the shuttle bay and rendezvous with Flight Lieutenant Charles Ash. He will pilot the cargo lifter Gamma 8 down to the so-called spaceport, where you shall depart. And from there, you shall take a rudimentary locomotion vehicle that shall transport you to Port Chula, which is your destination. Inquisitor Lucius is following multiple leads for a particular item. We might call it an artifact of sorts. One promising line of inquiry for this artifact led to Port Chula. However, we were unable to adequately follow this up due to the attack. Sorry, go on.
The attack?
Nathaniel Agee is a burst move if you gotta keep your mind on the task at hand, but...
Yes, quite. Yes. Your mission is to journey to Port Chula and establish a base of operations there. Make yourself familiar with the place and ingratiate yourselves with the locals. You are to make inquiries about the item that the master seeks, It is a painting, a portrait of sorts, titled "The Betrayal of the Heart" by Euronius Gelt. If you do locate the painting, you are to retrieve it at any cost. I repeat, at any cost.
Okay.
Keep one thing in mind, acolytes. You may have been trained to seek and root out heresy, but let me tell ye that this settlement, this planet, whole goddamn subsector is cursed. It is a foul, hotbed, a heresy. You cannot try and cleanse it all. Remember that the Holy Inquisition has no authority here, and dinna be fooled by those that claim to serve the Emperor on this world. You keep yourself focused on ye objective. Remain undercover.
Subtlety is my speciality.
Okay, good.
Agents. Agents of the throne have a nasty habit of going missing in action while operating in Chulaport. So be subtle, you gimme.
Quintus is standing there like he kind of had a question, but got distracted at some point during what the interrogator was saying, and he's now just sort of, and he's gone a bit pale at the mention of people going missing, and he just looks horrified, and he's just hanging there in mid, like as if he's about to form a word, going,
Oh,
Okay, I think I'm just going to wait for Johnny. I think it's just left screen, so I just make sure he comes back, so I don't talk to myself.
well, for one point, does anybody agree to me when we go here, we've kind of like got to find a base and make it some sort of like legitimate business venture just to find out stuff about the area? I think that sounds like a good idea. Do something.
"We need a cover."
After he's finished speaking, I'll be like, I'm sorry, I didn't understand a word you said.
He looks at you and he scowls. Yeah,
Good.
scowls and he
Perhaps you have
growls
some
and fed
briefing that I could upload.
scowls. He looks about. He's like he's about to say something, and then he glances at Nathaniel, and Nathaniel like nods, very eager to to please the guy, and he starts tapping on his data slate, and he exports to you a data file that comes across from the data slate into your central processing cogitator.
Thank you. Data received.
Excuse me, you said ingratiate ourselves with the locals. Are you suggesting that we should try to blend in, act like we're there as part of their culture, or that we're a part of another culture from elsewhere who have arrived on their world?
I would go for mercenaries looking for work, but you know, I know what I'm good at. Ah.
The master has said that you should have operational control. He's not speaking to you directly, but you should have control over your own operation. So how you want to play it is up to you. Now, let me tell you that the whole of you guys, you're never going to pass for natives of this world. Now, so you best come up with some story that doesn't hide away from the fact that you'll be off-worlders. Off-worlders are not too uncommon. But yeah, so it's not that likely that all of you will be able to pass for Orpheans.
Perhaps
Very
we
well.
could pass as art dealers.
Aye, maybe, but this world is it's a poor world. There's not much culture on it. I can't imagine there's many art dealers.
Do we?
Perhaps we could-
Sorry, go on.
Perhaps Quintus could maybe demonstrate some of his acting skills and ingratiate the population with those.
Aye, maybe.
A good idea. However, I believe I have an alternative. Do we know? You say this planet gives no tithe. Does it have any trade with other worlds, for example?
Aye, yes. The trade Not too much trade, but yeah, there's still trade off-world and on-world. This place you're going to, Port Chula, deals mainly in its exotic fauna. So hide and horn are two of the chief outputs. There's also fish, lumber, minerals, and some slave trade. That wasn't Scottish.
Slave trade, man.
Slave trade, man.
World.
Dave understands. Dave knows the horror.
It's fucking horrible. You try your best and you just suddenly lapse into a totally different accent.
Aye, the slave trade.
Slave trade, man.
Can't do it. Anyway, we'll just skip over that.
Okay.
So yeah. Anyway, so there is trade in multiple different things, but where you're going to, it's the main exports would be hide, horn, and fish.
Okay.
Beast
Perhaps we could pose as traders or beast hunters. Indeed, as Arnold suggests, we could
Beast hunters.
we could be in the market for some particularly exotic hides, or perhaps hunting them ourselves. Of course, I could play the role of the benevolent benefactor, and you my team, as we bravely adventure into the landscape. Perhaps a romantic scene with a local beauty from a nearby village would be appropriate too. And you can see I drift off into a fantasy for a moment as I begin to conjure up this image in my mind.
I could slap you on the back and go, you're such a daydreamer. Let's get some trade for bounty and see if we trade for information.
You nearly knock Quintius over when you slap him on the back.
Yeah. What say you, Jan? Jan.
I'm going to soothsay our chance of success.
Ooh.
Okay, hold on a second, matey. So there's a couple of types of soothsaying you can do. You can do a quick, which is basically sort of yes/no sort of answer, or you can do the proper ritual, which will give you a better chance of a true telling. But I just want to read out a little bit that I want to talk about on this. So where are we? One moment, please. So I just want to distinguish between the trade soothsayer skill, which gives the appearance of telling the future, from psychers using warped powered divination. They're two different things. Soothsayers are.
I need powers to be able to divinate from the warp.
Just hear me out, James. So soothsayers are observant and perceptive individuals, adept at piecing together minute elements of information about an individual and spinning a tale of the future tailored to what their mark wants to hear. However, on your homeworld, the planet of Dusk, the veil between real space and the immaterium, between the waking world and nightmare, is very thin indeed. This region of the Coronis Expanse is very similar in that regard. Because of this, and because of your affinity to the warp, there are many times when you perform the soothsaying ritual that you have a strong feeling that the reading is a true telling.
Ooh.
In fact, rumors of your successes at predicting the future are what brought the authorities and the agents of the Black Ships to come and take you away from Dusk. So I ask you, would you like to do a proper
I will try.
ritual? Okay. So you begin the ritual, and you sit cross-legged on the floor. You bring out a small piece of fabric, and you place onto it a small bowl, into which you tip a packet of herbs and light them. It fills the room with an unusual odor, reminiscent of licorice. And you begin to chant softly, beseeching the spirits to guide your reading and impart their wisdom. And at the peak of the ritual, you cast your finger bones. So make a fellowship test, please.
Is this smoke in any way intoxicating?
You don't think so, but you maybe do feel a little lightheaded.
Yeah, I'm going to see
Wow,
if I
Brownie.
can
The ultimate
briefly
goal.
step outside while this is going on. Just out. I'm not
Okay.
running off. I'm just wanting to step
Yeah.
outside the door a little.
Okay, yeah, you pop aside. There's a door to the rest of the ship, which you just, you stand in the doorway and get some fresh air.
It's here. I
Should
watch
stay, Lady Mark,
Jan do
and
his
listen
thing.
to some truths.
You just call him Lady Man.
Oh, splendid. I just want to say at this point as well, Hayden, that Arnold, obviously coming from a feral world as well, you are familiar with the role of shaman, wise men. It's
Yeah.
What are you saying, mate? So what?
My history of Fenris. It's okay. I've read lots of Space Marine books from when they're young.
Yeah. So to you, the role of shaman is a very important role within the tribe, and
that's why I'm hanging around. I didn't call him Lady Man.
No.
Jan.
You've got a lot of inbuilt respect for Jan, just because of the nature of his.
Enjoying the outcome. Ready.
Oh, wow, James, is that a natural one?
It is.
Yes,
Okay, so I'd like to just bring everyone's attention to a special rule that I'm playing, which is a natural critical or a critical failure. So if you roll a 1 or you roll a natural 100, then you will either succeed. In the case of a 1, you'll succeed in an extra special fashion, depending on what you're testing for. And if you roll 100, you will fail in an extra special fashion. So with the first one of the campaign, you've got a critical success. And Jan, you begin to divine the future. So what are you asking the spirits? Are you asking the success of this mission? Or what exactly are you asking? What are you trying to find out?
Like that. I'm just testing something.
What's your question to the spirit world?
I want to divine what's our mission again?
So your mission, the main objective is to locate a painting by Euronius Gelt. However, secondary objectives are to establish a base of operations and an effective cover story for why you're there, and to ingratiate yourselves with the locals.
Well, I will ask, where can I find the painting on this world?
Okay. You ask the spirits about the painting and its location, and you sit and you meditate, and say at the peak of the ritual you cast your finger bones, and you get a viewing of a visage, and you see swampland all around you. You see a foreboding bayou, insects and animals all around. The heat is bearing down upon you, and the humidity is intense. And you see what appears to be a battleship. However, it's not functional. The battleship appears to be immobile. And then you get another vision of a painting itself. A darkness and swirling miasma within the painting. The painting appears to be moving, and as you look upon it, and then you feel something reach out and see you, and you awaken from the vision. You gain a temporary fate point, which will last until such a point as you use one. You can't burn this fate point. You gain a fate point for temporary use.
Cool.
Wow.
Interrogator, do we happen to a call from the doorway? Do we happen to know anything about members of authority or community leaders or anything like that within this portula?
Aye. The main power on this planet is the Andrometus Combine. They hold dominion of a sort over the planet. They have no functional spacecraft of their own, but they do possess 2 orbital batteries as a deterrent. I'm not sure how they even managed to survive in this sector of space. It's a wonder to me that they haven't been overrun by the Xenos. Aye, that is a mystery of sorts. They hold dominion here, and they have their representatives in the port itself. Their main center of power is called Chichanga City.
Okay.
You're disjointed with your image, Al. So it's like you're casting your voice into the future.
Yeah, I've noticed that.
Dave does that for me sometimes, which is a bit off-putting, I'll be honest. I'll try rejoining, but I don't know if it'll help or not. I'll just...
James, we appear to both have.
I was about to say we are joined by our spirit animal. Our ancestors watch over our actions.
Okay, how do I sound? Am I synced up at all?
Yeah.
Or better?
Better,
Okay, well,
but still off sync. I don't know
Yeah.
what you've done.
Just don't worry,
I mean,
voice
no,
is perfect.
yeah, I mean, that's it. So as long as you can hear me okay. I know it's a bit
Yeah,
off-putting, because I say it happens exactly the same for me with Dave. And I just don't tend to look too much at him, because it does put me off a little bit. But there you go.
You started the call, didn't you? I wonder if
I
it's
did,
something
yeah.
to do with who starts the call. Anyway, strange.
Don't know. But we were just talking about this the other week. I mean, like, when you leave, the call's still going, so it's not like must be running independently, mustn't it?
Yeah,
So.
it's weird.
Okay, so he answered your question about the power on the planet, and it's the Andromeda's Combine.
Yep. Andromeda's Combine, Chichanga City, 2 orbital batteries, no spacecraft.
Mhm.
Okay. And do we happen to know anyone in any names of any people in Portula who may be of use to us? You say people have been here before?
Aye, people who came before you, he never returned. We don't know too much about the planet and the port itself, but we do know that there's a governor, Crookshank. He runs the port himself. But yeah, we don't know too much about the current situation. It's been at least what, I don't know, 20 years since we've been here last.
20 years, you say? Ah, well, a great deal could have changed in that time,
Oh,
my dear boy.
Sorry, let me just rewind a bit, because my maths is fucking awful. Okay, it's not. It's more like 6 years, he says.
Oh, 6 years.
I'm miles off there. Don't do maths on the fly, Alan.
No.
Bad things happen. Bad things happen.
Okay. And will we be provided with any extra resources or equipment to go about our task?
I thought you'd ask that. There's be some local currency for you here. It's called the drachma. Flowns are not taken at most vendors. Aye, but you should be able to get them changed at moneylenders. I've also been authorized to give you credit here for 100 flowns each to be used in the armory. Should you survive long enough to be promoted, then your armory credit will increase.
Test
That sounds
perception.
perfect.
Test perception, please, guys. I'd like you to all test perception.
Okay.
Perception.
I love points for prizes schemes. Makes me feel really good about killing people.
Fail. 4 degrees of failure for me.
Just a
Ooh.
fail for me.
So, Johnny. Okay, Johnny, you are watching the interrogator, and you notice a subtle change in his temperature, and you get the feeling that he's leaving something unsaid when he's talking about the armory.
What are the terms and conditions of the armory?
Aye, Alexa, it's simple. You've got here a credit chip for 100 flowns. If you didn't spend it, you can save it. The armory, you'll just have to go over there and see for yourself what they've got in stock. Aye, but...
Okay. That's fine. I just sense that there's somewhere within myself, there's an instinct that he's hiding something. You know what I mean?
You saying that, or you just?
Yeah. What is it you are not telling us?
The cold logic of the machine.
He looks. He looks again like he's starting to lose his temperature, and he says,
I've had just about enough of ye, you wee fucking wench.
he tries to intimidate you, which is, he's obviously trying to get you to back down and leave off him. But make a what do you do to defend against intimidate? Is there a test there? Do you know, or is it just a straight test?
The way I do it is an opposed
Yeah.
test, depending on the nature of the intimidation. So if it's more physical, I might do it based on
strength.
strength.
Yeah. Okay,
If it's
great
more
idea.
mental, I might do willpower.
So I assume you want to oppose this intimidation,
Yes.
Johnny. In which case, make a strength test and tell me how many degrees of passes or failure you get.
Okay. I fail by 2 degrees.
Okay, there are some threat warnings going off in your cogitate system. You detect a threat.
Threat detected.
Quintius would like to suddenly jump forward and step between Alexa and the interrogator and go, Interrogator, I believe my companion here is just feeling a little along the same lines as me, a little confused, out of place in a new environment, highly suspicious of her surroundings, everyone around her, her entire environment is alien to her. Surely these are qualities you would promote within acolytes such as ourselves. Indeed, are we not to root out suspicious nature? Perhaps her circuits are merely testing themselves. I'm attempting
You step in between. Okay, that's fair enough. I would say you step in between Alexa and Aaron. Make a fellowship roll, is it, for Blather?
Blather, yeah.
Bullshit detected.
Um,
I'm just saying.
Oh, so close. So you step in between, and you start spouting off some shit, and you're hoping just to divert him enough, but instead it looks like you've diverted his anger onto you. And instead of his fury being unleashed on Alexa, he's now giving you a real angry, intimidating stare. So I'd like you to make a strength test.
Oh shit!
Against his intimidation.
Oh shit! Strength test it is. Shit!
What have you rolled?
5 degrees of failure. 79 I rolled.
Okay, I wonder if you can predict. So the he does intimidate you. He's there's something dead in his eye. He's in his eye, not in his eyes. He's grizzled. You get the feeling that he could just rip you apart if he wanted to. And he says to you,
Look, I've seen 100 of your kind come and go. God alone knows what the master sees in ye, you fucking fairy. You's dead meat, laddie. You's within the last 10 minutes in the miasma. You give me any more trouble, I'll rip your fucking balls off.
My apologies, interrogator. I meant no offence whatsoever. Please let there not be violence.
He does look like he wants to. He wants to do something, and you notice that Nathaniel is looking like he wants to be anywhere else, and he's trying desperately not to catch the attention of the interrogator. The moment passes.
Quintius is visibly paling. By the way, he definitely isn't. He isn't pretending to be scared. He is fucking scared.
So the moment passes, and the interrogator is. He hands over. He doesn't hand over anything. He says to Nathaniel,
"Sort these guys out. I've had enough of them."
And he walks out. He walks out of the chamber and leaves. There's just you guys and Nathaniel and the servitor.
Well, went well.
Yes, quite. Nathaniel starts to hand out credit chips and some currency in small bags. Looks almost like a crude precious metal coinage. So you've each got 100 credits worth of armory credit, and you've each got 100 drachma.
Just like old Greece. Okie dokie.
Anyway,
Okay, Nathaniel says, oh, go on, sorry, Johnny.
I'm just gonna get my gear from the locker. Like,
Yeah.
Start suiting up.
Okay. Nathaniel says, the servitor will give you directions as required. Simply just speak to it clearly. And and then Nathaniel starts to head off as well. Unless anyone else has got anything more to say to him.
No, but I am going to approach the servitor and go, "Hello? The armory, dear boy! The armory!"
Understood. The servitor starts to move and trundle out of the room.
I'm going to follow it.
I will too.
Okay, guys, before you go, I just want to know, is everyone taking all your gear? Are you leaving any gear stowed on the ship?
Nope.
No, take my
I,
gear, put it on.
I have a las pistol to my name.
No, I'm taking.
You've got a bit more. You've got a bit more than that, buddy, but not too much.
I'm carrying.
So I can go for each of you in turn if you like. You want to carry all yours?
Yeah,
Hayden?
I'm going to take all mine out, but is my auto gun? Am I able to break it down into like stock, barrel, and middle part, and maybe cram it into my bag?
You don't really know how to do that, but perhaps someone in your group might be able to assist you there.
I'm going to turn to Arnold and say, "Excuse me, Arnold, my dear boy. I was wondering. I was issued with this," and I'm going to heft this auto gun and go. Now, I am familiar with the operation of this device. However, I know it can be broken down. Maybe I want to put it in.
Oh,
this.
do you want me to break it?
No, not break
it down for you. I can do that.
Field strip it into its components. Field strip it to its components. Just to put it in here.
Okay.
It's easier to carry.
As it's still talking to me, I'm going to start. So carry on, Dave.
Okay. Just strip it down to its components. Place it in my bag here, and I open the bag very gingerly. Only
It's
only
done.
an inch.
I'm back
Okay.
quick.
Hold on a sec, guys. Hayden, I'd like you to make an agility test with plus 30.
Ooh.
Okay.
This is a task that you've done.
That's
a what, sorry?
About 3 degrees of failure, or 5 degrees of failure.
Is it plus 30?
0.5, sorry, sir.
0.5, so it's a slight fail.
Slight fail.
Okay, so you disassemble the gun and you think you've done a sterling job. I mean, you've done it hundreds of times before. You do it quickly and you do it efficiently. But no, I mean, James says you probably could do it quicker, but you've got a bit of an audience this time, and for some reason that makes it a little harder than normal.
I feel
maybe it's the shaman who's
it's under pressure all the time. I'm under pressure.
Performance issues.
Maybe it's because
Quintius is still impressed.
Okay. So you are stowing your auto gun in your backpack then. So you're taking all your equipment with you, Dave.
Yeah, everything else I'm taking. Yeah.
So you don't have a huge amount of spare weight.
What am I on?
So
sure.
So you've got a 18 kilograms carry limit with a total of 13.6 that you're carrying.
Yeah, that's about right. Yeah.
Okay.
It's all right. I've got pack horse over here. I'm just going to strap stuff to Arnie.
Is everyone else? So Johnny, are you taking all your gear, or are you leaving
it
anything
on my back as well while I walk?
I'm gonna bring it all.
Can bring it all? Yeah. I mean, you've got plenty of carry space. Hayden's got plenty. Brownie, you taking all your stuff?
Yeah, I'm taking everything I've got.
You've hardly got that much. So.
Can I have like a RoboCop style leg to keep my pistol in?
A concealed cavity.
That is. There's two, if I remember. There's two different versions of that. There's concealed cavity and there's concealed holster. And the concealed holster gives you quick draw as well.
I'll work towards.
I think, like I say, I think that's something, Johnny. I'd like you to construct yourself if you want it, because it does have quite a few good advantages having a concealed weapon in your leg. So, but you can certainly try and build one. That's certainly within your capabilities, but you need resources and time to do so. Okay, so everyone's taking pretty much all the gear then. Mm-hmm. So you're following the servitor as it trundles away.
Yep.
Yeah. Okay. So the servitor trundles away. Okay. So you head out of your chamber and you follow it to you're at a crossroads, and you follow it off to the right, and you walk for some distance. The ship must be, perhaps 3 kilometers long, maybe a little bit longer. So you've got quite a long walk to take you to the armory.
As we're walking, I'd just like to say to Arnold, that whole dissembling of the weapon thing, do you think sometime you could perhaps show me how to do that, my dear chap?
Maybe you can watch when I put it together. You might learn.
Yeah, yes, that would be suitable. Good lad. And I pat him on the back with my tiny hands.
High or low?
As high as I can reach.
And in return, I'm going to pick you up. I'm going to pick you up and put you on my shoulder.
I'm not quite that small.
No, you are. Going to make a strength test, Al.
Well, yeah, okay. Firstly, are you resisting all, Dave? He
No.
tries to grab you, which you're not really prepared for. So you're not resisting in any way. You're not trying to dodge it. So Hayden, make a grapple test.
I fail.
You grapple him, you pick him, and you think, "Oh, this will be easy." But he's actually a bit heavier than you thought. So you're like, you can lift him up, but you actually think,
slippery?
"No, I don't really want to put him on my
slippery.
shoulders." It's
I think
Sorry?
it's slippery.
yeah.
I think it's slippery.
Put him down.
Too heavy
Anyway,
for me.
You think better of it. You think better of it, and you put him down.
You wily little man.
Ooh, ooh.
You come here. It's my shoulder. I get you.
Romance blossoms in the 41st millennium.
So
break out
you're walking.
hysterical laughter.
I'm going to eye up Arnold's armor. I'm going to say, Wolfchild, what is this you wear? Give him a punch on it.
Yeah,
It's good. It's strong. Looks advanced.
this is Imperial Guard, man. I've conscripted myself in after being conscripted a lot of my life. So,
This is the armor of the Imperial Army.
Yes. Shit, my accent's gone. Yes. It
When
is.
we get to the
I've
armory,
had to
you
join.
will buy
They've
some
trained
for
me.
Well, you will guide my purchase.
What? You want to buy my armor?
You
No,
don't.
I will buy my armor, but you will show me the best to buy.
Yeah.
You don't want to piss him off. You don't want to risk bad juju.
No, I don't. I'm trying to be nice, but way in pausing. It's just because I fucked my accent. I'm trying to really think for my answer. So yeah.
You can always just speak normal if you want, mate.
Yeah. Yes, that would be great. I would be happy to show you the best armor and best guns to buy. It's a passion. I love guns. I live
back in the game.
ships, and I love fast cars. So let's get on, buddy, and let's go. Get to that shopper. No, get to the shopper.
Meanwhile, as this is going on, I'm sort of glancing at Arnold's armor and the conversation they're having, and looking at Alexa walking along next to me that's clearly a machine, and I just glance down at my quilted vest and look sad.
You do also notice, Dave, that Yarn doesn't seem that well armored either.
Yeah.
So
Is Yarn wearing any armor?
He's got something. I mean, it looks about as sturdy as your quilted vest, but it's more primitive. Some sort of beast furs, or no, it's made of bone, I think, isn't it? So it's got some kind
I
of
would tell you, group.
bone chest piece.
Okay.
Lots of overlaying bones.
Oh, nice. Sorry. But I was going to say, can I just add to the group?
Yeah.
Hey, you lot. I'm equipped and well armored enough to get any mission completed. So if you need my credits for the armory to buy something better for yourselves, do it.
Do it.
Okay. You walk past a number of bays, which you see assigned, interceptor bays and bomber bays and shuttle bays on this side of the ship as you're walking. And you also notice as you're walking that you're on the actual side of the ship, close to the the skin of the vessel, and that the viewports are closed.
Hmm.
I'm going to look through viewport.
I say it's closed at the minute.
Closed. I thought it said art. Sorry.
Yeah, they are closed, but you look around and you do see there is some sort of panel nearby. You're not really familiar. You're not a very tech savvy person, though, are you?
No.
Make an intelligence test then.
Oh, nearly fried my brain thinking about it.
Yeah, you're not quite sure how to make this huge metal machine. Actually, no, I'm going to give you a plus actually because you've spent quite a lot of time on a ship, haven't you? You were captured and you were a slave on a ship.
Yeah.
No. So we're going to give you a benefit instead. So you realise that there's a panel there that you could use to open up the viewports.
Okay.
You want to do so? Do you say?
Yeah. I am going to.
Okay. So the servitor carries on. The servitor carries on, trying for a little bit, and then it realizes that you're not following, and it stops. Arnold goes over and opens one of the viewports, and a panel, moves upwards and reveals like a thick plexiglass window. You look out into the stars. Anyone else looking?
I am, because it's my first time off-world.
Love to stare into the abyss.
I'll have a look as well.
Okay, you all have a look, and you see stars and nebula, and make a perception test. Anyone who is looking.
Okay. 65. Fail.
I don't see nothing.
Just a straight perception test.
Straight perception.
I have passed with 1.5 degrees.
Okay, Quintius, you look at the beauty of the stars, and it's an amazing vision, and you're taken aback by the majesty and the beauty of what you're seeing, and then you squint, and you can see a body floating through space, and you realise that he's not wearing a void suit, and he must be quite dead. There's no way that anyone could survive.
I know what's
in the cold, harsh void of space.
Sorry.
And you see that the body is fairly close to the ship, or relatively close. It has to be for you to be able to see it. It's quite off-putting. So you've gone from having this wonderful, wonderful moment of seeing the beauty to suddenly thinking, "What the fuck?"
I'm just going to go, I say, look, and grab Arnie and shake him by the shoulder and point at the body and go, where on earth has he come from? Is it he? I wouldn't know at this range, surely. But
You probably can't.
Where on earth have they come from?
Perhaps he did not follow.
Which makes me want to buy a void suit.
Is it that Nathaniel?
Yeah, none of you have noticed. None of you have noticed this body before until Quintius points it out, and then you see this corpse floating through the void of space.
Is it going past the ship or just hanging?
Does it look happy or sad?
It does seem to be moving. I mean, you get the impression that the ship is not under motion. It's hanging in orbit,
Yeah.
The body is moving. It's still under some sort of force. It's drifting away from the ship.
I'm going to crane my head round and get as close to the plexiglass windows as I can and look in the direction of where it came from and see if I can see anything.
Okay, you think it's heading from the stern side of the vessel, which is the direction that you're walking. So you're on the port side of the ship, and you're walking towards the stern.
Okay. My friends, I believe that body may have come from this ship.
I'm just going to look in that direction. Can I try and zoom in on it or anything like that with my eyes, or they're not designed to do that?
They're not really designed for that sort of thing as yet, Johnny. But again, it's something that you might be able to modify yourself with time.
Okay.
At the minute, the main thing that they do is let you see in the dark.
Okay.
And they give you resistance to flash weaponry, photo grenades, that sort of thing.
Cool.
So they operate very similar to photo contacts or photo visor.
Cool.
But you can zoom in slightly, yeah. But it's not. You can't get like a massive magnification.
Probably some slave who didn't follow orders. Got just base facts. Happens all the time.
Arnold,
Right.
I hate to point this out, but that body is coming from the direction that we're heading.
Ha! Ain't nobody.
Quintius is going to draw his pistol.
Okay. Quintius draws a pistol. You notice. I'd like Johnny to make a tech use test. But you all notice that it's a beautiful pistol. There's some sort of fine filigree. Johnny, you recognise your cogitator immediately focuses upon it, and you realise that this is a fine quality auto pistol, one of the best that you've seen, certainly in recent years.
Are you drawing it up?
Nice pistol.
Sorry.
It's an articulator pattern, and it's a thing of beauty. You would love to take it apart and put it back together one time, or several times.
Are you drawing it at me?
No. I'm drawing it in readiness because I think something's going on ahead, my dear boy.
Ah. Okay.
Anyone else drawing the weapons?
Not at the moment.
I get my
No.
big sword ready.
Big sword.
Big sword.
Arnold pulls out a huge double-handed greatsword.
Oh my.
Holds it here. He looks a bit like a barbarian, perhaps.
In a flak jacket.
I'm just going to take a step slightly back from Arnold at this point.
Yeah, you wouldn't want to be on the wrong end of this greatsword, that's for sure. Okay, so the servitor's waiting. Are you? Sorry, you broke up a little bit there, mate. Would you repeat that?
I've seen what low-level characters with great swords can do, so I'm taking a step back.
Yeah, pretty strong. So, you carrying on?
Yeah, I'm going to keep following the servitor.
You got a Conan-style
Servitor.
sword.
Yeah. Of course, brother,
Is he doing the
You
stand?
the vibe.
He is doing the stance, aren't you?
Yes, of course. Dun 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 dun.
You've been researching the role.
No. I've just watched a lot of anime.
I'm losing Johnny a bit there, mate. I
Quite
Yeah,
funny.
you're frozen.
don't know.
He's
You
frozen.
went a bit choppy.
No, I'm getting. Yeah, it's gone a bit robot. I can't hear you at all, Johnny.
You might cut.
It's just,
It was
I can't
just
hear you like-
it's just a really good role player.
Yeah.
Okay.
Where's your cat, James?
She comes and goes. She jumps up
I'm
on
back.
the chair and then fucks off. Yeah,
This one just needs to be near someone.
yeah. Yeah, ours are the same. But I've gone and joined the
Not bad.
girls in the lounge.
Mhm.
Yeah.
I can hear you now, Johnny. I think. Just say a few words, would you?
Hello.
I can't see you, but I don't need to see you, but I can hear you just
I
fine.
can
So
Hey Siri, say something.
Try it.
Alexa, find the armory.
Okay, I can see you again now, Johnny.
The armory
So-
is located on the starboard deck, just after the slave firing interface mechanism.
Alexa, show me orc porn.
Oh, porn.
Okay.
No,
Right, so the servitor...
Uploading.
Go on, Johnny.
uploading fungi. Oh, porn.
Search
Uploading
results.
from
Search results include,
fungi.com.
search results include Gherkin, Gangbang, and others.
Cucumber face.
Fungi Fist Fury.
Mushroom cloud. Even though that means could mean anything.
Orc.
Mushroom
Go.
cloud.
No.
Bukake.
Mushroom cloud. Bukake.
Oh.
Also found. Wag, that's my anus.
Nobbings everywhere.
Right,
We're
sorry,
not.
Al, carry on.
This goes,
Knobs. There were so many knobs in this party. It was unbelievable.
sometimes you just have to let it go, don't you?
Knob set.
You got to let it run its course. Eventually,
Yeah,
it'll burn
exactly.
out.
Yeah, exactly. You just gotta let it go. You know, you can't stop. You can't stop it. You just gotta let it go.
That's the name for a collective of knobs.
I don't know. A fistful of knobs. I don't know.
A
A
fisting
party
of
in
knobs.
my garage.
Fistful. a bag of knobs. No, yeah. I'll come at you like a sack of knobs.
What?
A sack of cocks. That's the one. I'll fly at you like a sack of cocks.
Oh.
Deborah. A Deborah of knobs.
Fuck on.
One in each. No, sorry, carry on, Al.
Definitely.
It's quite a right idea, like you say. You know, gotta let it pass on its own. You can't force these things. Because, you know, if you try and go on without Johnny, unless Johnny said his piece, you know, it's gonna come out anyway, you know, isn't it?
Such is the ebb and flow of the warp.
I feel bad
It's
because
true.
I know what it's like. You're just trying to describe someone's shoes, and Johnny's there making a joke about anuses. It's
I see it from both sides. Obviously, I've played alongside Johnny for quite a few sessions, so I know what it's like. And Johnny cracks me up like quite regularly when we're gaming. So
humor.
yeah, I love it. So so I see it from both sides. You just got to let it go.
yeah, you do. You just have to let it run its.
The knob gags will end on their own at some point.
Yeah, they do. You get you eventually. Just stop it.
Uploading knob gag. Bye. Okay.
You continue down the corridor following the servitor.
Reeling off names of like Paul.
You continue down. Like I say, the walk is perhaps a good 1.5-2 kilometers long.
Mhm.
You reach another junction, and the servitor seems to be turning off to the left, but to the right, you see there is an airlock.
Okay. I'm going to have a look in the airlock. I've got my pistol in my good hand, which I think is my left hand. But I've also got my cane in my right hand.
Okay.
Does the airlock have a window? Oh, yeah.
Yeah. It's got a plexiglass window. You're looking through.
I'm just going to peek in through the window and see what I can see.
Okay. You see that the outer door is open, and it is empty to space. So the chamber of the airlock is completely vented.
Okay.
If you were to open up this inner door, you'd probably all be shot out into space.
Companion.
Don't do that because you'll fuck my campaign up really quick.
Companions, this This airlock's outer door appears to be ajar. Perhaps this is where the body came from. It's rather unusual, is it not, Alexa?
Clearly a case of void madness. Common occurrence during space travel amongst inexperienced travelers. I hope you are all feeling well, and that you do not need to jump into space, or you will die.
Could
To the
you,
armory.
Alexa, do you think you could close the outer door from here?
I believe I could. Accessing that. And then
Okay,
out of my finger sort of comes up.
Yeah. So make a tech use
This
test.
is where I
It's,
roll 100 and jettison all this into space.
Well, if you do
I
roll 100, there's definitely a risk of that. I was going to say you could add a +10 for your data interface because you've got an inbuilt data interface. It's also an easy roll as well. But you pass, you start the closing of the outer airlock door, and it begins to shut slowly. And then it begins to repressurize the chamber of the airlock.
Okay. Once it's repressurized, I go. I keep wanting to call you Vanetta. Alexa, could you open the inner door?
Open the inner door. What purpose would that serve?
I'm just curious why someone has just disappeared out of the airlock of the ship.
Possibly because they opened the inner door and then accidentally opened the outer door.
But now the outer door is closed, we can open the inner door.
Why would we open the inner door? I don't understand.
Just
ask another question.
Alexa, just open the door, please.
Okay, so I'll open the door.
Okay, again, a tech use test at +30. +40, like +30 is so easy, and then +10 for your interface.
As she's doing this,
you
as she's doing this, I'm going to just turn to Yarn and say, "You just can't get the help these days."
Opening outer door.
And game over.
So, just to be clear, you watch Alexa as she works, and you think you look at the panel and you think that maybe you could probably do this yourself. Opening the doors isn't too challenging, even if you don't have tech use. You think it's perfectly possible for you to do it yourself in the future after watching it.
I'm not the sort who's going to do that.
That's fine. I'm just throwing out there. So, Johnny, are you opening up the outer or the inner door, or both? Did you say?
I'm going to open just the inner door. I'm not opening the outer door.
My campaign is on the cusp of ending before it's even begun.
I'm going to turn around and lean into Dave and go, "Are you happy now?"
Why, yes, thank you, my dear lady. Most kind of you. And give her a little pat on the shoulder.
To which my hand comes up and just grabs yours. Don't touch me. I'll apply a little bit of pressure.
Okay.
Just
Quintius looks a little alarmed and just goes, "Very well," and tries to pull his hand back, his tiny hand.
Cancelling secondary motivation to open outer door. And then the other door is going to close as well because I've just got my finger in it or something. So
you're opening up the inner door. So
yeah, and then
having a look inside,
and then I'm going to close it again. So,
I'm just peeking in.
And then you're peeking it. And then as it's closing, I'm just like, I'm going to the armory. Goodbye. All right, and then I'm just going to walk down the
Make a perception test. Anyone who's looking into the room.
Okay.
I'm looking at
perception. Oh.
Pass. No degrees of success.
Okay. Anyone else?
I've made mine.
What's everyone else doing?
I'll have a look. I pass on a 3.
Very good. Okay, so just Jan and Alexa looking, or are you looking as well, Dave? Did you say?
I failed.
What did you roll?
I fell by 1.5 degrees.
Okay, and Hayden, what did you roll?
I'm just trying to get to my. I've rolled. Oh shit! my thing's in the way.
You rolled a 31.
Yeah, I'm just trying to find my perception or intelligence.
Character sheet.
Yeah, I can't seem to scroll it down.
Really?
I've got it.
I'll
I've
have a look
put
for
it
you,
up,
mate.
but-
If you
Yeah,
sometimes
I'll have a look,
character
yeah.
sheet comes up. Hayden, if you close your character sheet, then open it again. In the top, I think it's the top left corner, there's a little square icon you can click, and it opens it up in a new window, so you don't have to keep closing it down. You can basically switch between that and Roll20. It opens it as a separate window to Roll20.
Okay. I'm having trouble closing it down now. 1 second, I'll put it into full screen.
Your
That's-
perception is 30, by the way, buddy.
Failed then.
Okay, so I believe it was Jan and Alexa who passed.
Yeah.
Both of you pick up on something that's slightly unusual. You don't see much that's going on, but you do see, and especially Alexa notices this because she's more technically inclined, that one of the panels has been removed, and you think that perhaps there might have been some repairs being undergone.
Some
Checking
guy
ship's
just spaced himself.
I pressed the wrong button.
No.
Good choice. Good times. I'm just going to check the. Can I just access the ship's maintenance logs to see if it was due for an inspection on this particular door?
Okay, make a tech use test.
Pass.
Okay, how many degrees of success?
Actually, no, that's a fail. So
You've
I
got-
can't see my dice properly.
You've got a plus 10 because of your interface.
It's still a fail. I got 96.
Okay.
Access denied. Clearance invalid.
Oh. I'm just going to move back away from that.
Okay.
Does everything appear to be in order, Alexa?
Yes, everything is in order. Now, may we please proceed to the armory?
Do you want me to have a look at that door? I'm used to ships like these.
Yeah, I mean, you didn't see anything when you had a look in. You didn't see anything that jumped out as a miss. It all seemed in order to you when you looked, Arnold.
Oh, okay then.
You made a perception test, didn't you?
Yeah.
I mean, you could have a closer investigation if you wanted. Or you see, the servitor is. It looks like it's trying to carry on moving forward, but it's stuck in a loop because none of you coming.
I've passed.
So you pick up on this panel as well. That's you think that someone was doing repairs in here, and they probably didn't finish them because the panel's not been reattached.
Oh, can I reattach the panel?
Yeah, of course you can. If you make a tech use test at plus 10.
Pass on the 16.
Okay, you've got a screwdriver in one of your other fingers. Screw the panel back in. Easy task, done in an acceptable time.
I'm just going to log if the maintenance is complete as well on the ship's computer.
Access denied.
You still haven't got access to the computer system yet.
Well, that's no way.
Seat clearance.
That's no way to treat a lady. Like that.
What a rude.
Sorry, this communication is just coming straight via the interface into Johnny's head, so no one else knows anything's really going on there. So.
Well, you need to get some manners, don't you? For that. Disconnecting.
What are you doing there, Alexa?
Angry machine spirit in a living door. Angry door.
The Emperor's 28k modem.
Beware. Beware. It's like them doors in Labyrinth, isn't it? It's
What are you doing there, Alexa?
Oh, come on. We haven't said it in a long time.
such a long time.
Classic. Guys, I'm going to have to take a slash, so if anyone else wants one, now would be a good time.
Alexa, what are you doing there?
Playing with the door.
What was wrong with the door?
It needed routine maintenance. That has been completed.
Oh, very good.
Do not trouble yourself. it's strange getting to grips with like a new character, isn't it? It's like
It is, yeah. Once you're used to something else.
Yeah, I think I've started off as just being like Alexei, and then I think Alexei's going to get more and more arsey as the campaign goes along.
I think that's good, yeah.
I think that's what I'm going to try and go with it and stuff as well. Like, you know,
when
machine spirits and things like that.
When I created Quintius and I wrote like a 2-page bio that I sent to Al, like, this is what I want him to be, this is what I want him to be based on. And I've developed it from there. And basically, I've got a plan for how, as he levels up, his personality is going to change.
Ah, cool.
Because at the minute, he's a bit of a selfish cunt.
He's a noble, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
So,
and he's also an actor, darling.
Oh god, even the worst kind.
Yeah, but you know that's maybe going to change.
A thespian.
A thespian, my dear. Yes.
I haven't written a bio because I just can't. I couldn't feel it. I don't know where I kind of begin. I need to the character as I play it.
Mystery is the best place to begin with. Like
I think sometimes it's some people and some characters, they suit just having a blank slate that you can develop as you go along.
Yeah.
It's like
the Rattling kind of rolled himself, really.
Yeah. It's like we came up with a few ideas for Ramsey, didn't we, when we made him? But but like I've written in some blanks for you in the background, which may be coming into play. Who knows? Right.
Okay. But yeah, like on character histories, you know, if you give me a few points, I could maybe flesh them out a bit, or if you just want to leave it kind of a bit blank and mysterious, that's fine. It's just if you have like a history, I can maybe intertwine it somehow into the story.
Yeah.
You know, it gives me more to work with if you've got a history.
It'll come to me as I play him, like what this dude is.
But yeah, but
I quite like the illiterate savage.
I've got a bit of history to add at some point, Al. If that's okay, cool. I want to put a rival in there.
Yeah, of course.
Just for something you might want to chuck at me later.
Maybe. But I'll keep in mind that you're quite far away from where you were before. You know, you've travelled out into the far reaches of the Segmentum Obscurus, and you don't even know how much time has passed, how much time you've been in stasis. You've no idea.
I do.
Boy, good call.
Yeah, I mean, but there's nothing to stop you from adding the history in. It's the same for everyone in that it's, you know, a lot of the history may be in a different part of the universe, so it's harder for me to bring it in, but it's still good for it to be there if you, you know, it just gives me stuff to work with, you know.
I'll send you, I've expanded Quintius a little bit. I'll send you what I've got. It'll probably have no impact on the story whatsoever. But there is a few bits.
It's all good though.
Right. Anyway, while you were at the toilet, Al, I asked Alexa what was wrong with the door, and didn't get a helpful answer. So now I'm turning round and wandering back towards the servitor, but I keep glancing back at the airlock as I go a couple of times.
Okay.
Let's just go to the armory. Let's just get to the armory.
Heading off, guys, then?
Yep. Let's get to the. To buy a void suit.
So you head off
to the armory.
Buy a fucking void suit. The end is nigh. Ragnarok has come, and the wolf finds his last beat.
Already, I should have just jettisoned us into space, shouldn't I?
Well, you'd have tested me there.
It crossed my mind for a split second.
The grief in you. No, I mean, obviously, Johnny, I would have had to have railroad that back into the campaign somehow. There's no way that I can just let you finish my campaign in the first session. I couldn't allow that. But you know, I'm glad that you didn't, because it would probably mean I'd have to fudge it, and I'd rather not fudge it if I can avoid it.
Sorry about that.
It's all good. I knew that you would have those thoughts.
Come on, let's do it.
Okay, so guys, you head off into the armory and you see that large portions of it are given over to warehouse space, cargo containers, lifters, and servitors dot the area. The armory itself is a enclosed structure within the main bay. It appears to be heavily fortified. Over by one of the cargo containers nearby, as you enter, you see a ratling taking a break and smoking a low stick.
Hey, Mister. No, I'm not going to speak. I'm not sharping at all.
I want to approach the rattling. Say, hello, good day, my dear sir. Is your father around?
He looks at you a bit befuddled and goes, "Hey, you must be new here. You must be the new acolytes in service to the master."
Yes, we are. We're looking for the man in charge of the armory, I suppose. The quartermaster, is he around?
Yes, the
There you go,
armory must get there.
So the rattling extends his hand. He goes, "Corporal Jeffrey Briggs, charmed, I'm sure. So is this your first fine time? Is this your first fine time? Is this your first time in our fine armory?"
Quintius looks a bit confused and reaches out to shake his hand and goes, "Corporal, well, I knew the Inquisition were prone to some unusual methods, but child labour is frankly abhorrent to me."
The rattling still hasn't got it. He still doesn't think you could be that stupid not to know what a rattling is, and he hasn't quite clocked what you're on about yet. But he nods over to the fortified structure, which is the armory itself. He goes, "All right, quartermaster, he's over there. He'll be in that structure. A word to the wise, though," and he taps his beak. "This quartermaster Dominic, he's on the fucking take." Scottish again. He's on the fucking take. If you want any proper gear, use best cross his palm with silver. Else he'll stiff you. See if you don't.
Okay. Did the rattling give his name? I missed that.
The rattling's name or the quartermaster's name?
No, did the rattling give his own name?
Yeah, the rattling gives his name as Corporal Jeffrey Briggs.
Okay.
And he's named the quartermaster Dominic. And he goes, "Hey, I tell you, if he were to have a nasty accident, no one on the ship would mourn him. Some people might be very thankful. Problem is, he never seems to leave that structure. It's almost as if he knows he's got a price on his head."
Really? Well, interesting. Thank you for your information, my dear boy. Yes. You should perhaps run along home now. I'm sure your mother's looking for you. And I'm going to toddle off towards the armory building itself. I've never seen a rattling.
Yeah, that's fine. He just shakes his head. He's
A bit of spacism going
he's
on
just
there.
about he's just about clocked what you're on about, and he's just like, "You what, mate?" He finishes his low stick and says, "Hi, I best be getting back to work.
Thank
You'll
you.
never get your hands on me Lucky Charms."
I just
Oh,
passed
sorry, he doesn't say that.
Took a
Doesn't say that.
drachma into his hand. As he goes past, I'm going to just bag a drachma into his hand and go, "Thank you, big
He
man.
looks-
Good
Looks at the
information."
drachma. He looks at the drachma and says, "What the fucking good is this? You got a thrown guilt, have you? Fucking drachma. What the fuck's a drachma?"
Ah, fuck off then. Trying to be nice, little
Just-
man. Now get out of my sight before I crush you like the insect you are.
Regardless of what you may have heard about people of my kind, we are not all interested in the lucky charms of children. And I'm just going to disappear off towards the armory.
Anyway, yeah. It has, hasn't it? It's gone pretty dark, but you know, I'm happy. I'm happy with the darkness. I'd be disappointed. I'd be disappointed otherwise, I think. I mean, he discards the drachma. He just chucks it on the floor.
I'm just heading into the armory building looking for this quartermaster Dominic.
I'm just
Yeah.
gonna look at it and leave it there and walk off.
Okay. Everyone else heading off towards the armory itself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And like I say, it's a fortified structure. It's totally enclosed. It's sat within the main bay. As you approach, you see that there are several cameras, scanning across, and there appears to be some sort of heavy stubber emplacement on the top of the structure. Right. I'd like you to go into roll 20. And I'm going to try and share with you the armory. So hopefully you can see that.
Yeah.
It's like a handout underneath your character.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
Can you see it? So there's a list of the gear that is available in the armory.
Okay.
If you need to know what stuff costs, I'll have to let you know. I didn't put all the costs down, but if you do have one of Dave's spreadsheets, then the costs will be on there. And you've each got 100 thrones to spend. When you approach near the structure, you see that there's actually a queue. There's a couple of people queued up. And they're being seen one at once.
Okay. Okay.
Does anything need anything?
So
I don't really need
Ow.
anything.
yeah, I mean, if you want to start pricing stuff up, I'm fine with that. If you've got just to move things along a bit, if you've got. Yeah.
How do you feel about us discussing out of character, not exactly skills and talents and numbers of characteristics, but capabilities, like out of character combination? Yeah. Talk about that. Oh,
Yeah, I'm not too fussed about a bit of metagaming here. Yeah, not too fussed about a bit of metagaming, just to speed things along and make things a bit easier. So if you want to metagame a little bit here, guys, just in the interest of moving things along. Then
the only thing I was going to say is, has anyone got any Medicaid skills?
No, I'm just big, strong arms.
No.
Yeah.
Fucking hell.
We're not going to need any of that. It's going to be fine. It's just a routine operation.
Metagaming chicken.
Oh, nice. Well played, Alan.
okay, so I don't think anyone has any medical skills as yet. I don't think anyone gets access to it at level 1.
The only other thing I
don't think.
Tech skills, I can repair myself.
I've got the price custom form on a different page. Give me a second. You don't need to look it up. Because I made a list for Dave.
You don't get manacles.
Manacles are 35 creds, so I'm going to buy a pair of manacles.
Well, hold on a sec. As in, you've not actually reached the vendor himself.
I'm there.
And I'm just letting you do discussion. Well, you can go first if you want.
Well, no. I mean,
you
that's it. If anybody needs extra cash, if I can have some of mine.
Okay, so you're heading up. You're heading up first, are you, Hayden? Then?
Yeah. So if anybody else needs any extra to get gear or anything like that, there's 65 available spare in the armory creds for my stuff.
I'm just going to.
So we're just going to pause a minute, Hayden, before you do your shopping. Let everyone else do the talking first. Okay, well, let everyone do the discussion first.
Right.
If there is anything to discuss.
I want to try and access the ship's. Sorry, Dave, you go first. Sorry.
All I'm saying is, looking at what's available, there's some quite handy stuff. Bearing in mind that we're supposed to be doing a clandestine infiltration, pretending to be other people, sneaking about, trying to find a painting mission. There's a few things that might be useful. A lot of it is stuff I can't use. Like a Vox Thief, for example. A Vox Thief is basically a device that lets you steal broadcasts and what have you. It could be handy for snooping on transmissions. I don't know how much that costs.
Okay, well, I'll have to warn you, it's a 500 thrones, so even if you combined all of your credits and you didn't spend anything on anything else, you'd still be shy 100 thrones.
Okay. Another thing, a couple of handy things on there. Auspex and Combi Tool. Good stuff for Johnny to have.
Yeah, that's true. So
I'll put some money into that.
I've got Combi Tool already, I believe.
No, you've got normal tools. You've got normal tools, Johnny. You don't have a combi tool. The combi tool will add to your. Okay, like I say, just decide what you want. The actual shopping will come. Like I say, the Rattlings warned you that this guy he's on the take, and he'll probably try and stiff you if you don't cross his palm with silver. He said so. But anyway, just do your discussion first. You're after a combi tool. How much is that? Yeah. So let's have a look. Is that gear or tools?
I'm quite happy to pull the 100 thrones of mine in with everyone else and just get a load of shit we can all benefit from.
Yeah.
Oh yeah,
Combi tool is 200.
Same. I'll do the same. The only reason I want manacles is because I've had so many missions where you have to catch someone. So easy just to cuff them.
Yeah.
So a combi tool would be 200. The other thing, seeing as well getting in on the metagaming, I have to warn you that both James and Dave are very poorly armoured. So you are at risk.
Yeah, I am aware of that. How much is I can't remember how much is what have I got? I've got a quilly vest. Fuck.
Light flak.
Quilted vest.
A light flak coat is 80 creds, and a flak jacket, which is armor 3 instead of 2 to all points, is 100.
Yeah.
So I'd probably go for a flak jacket while we're at it.
What about the mesh? How much is the mesh?
So what in particular mesh? So they're all quite expensive, so it probably really into your total cost. So say a combat cowl, which is arms and body, 4 points, is 350, so that'd be nearly all your thrones. You know, and most of the parts are like 100 over or more each. So mesh is a bit out of your range unless you really do focus all your money onto it.
I'll tell you what. I'll buy. I'll get a. Sorry, what's a cloak and a greatcoat again?
So a
80 or 100.
Yeah.
80 or 100.
Yeah. A light flak suit is 2 to all locations, except for a head as well. If you want a helmet, I think that's another 50.
I've got 100 to give you if you need anybody. So you know,
with my existing creds, I can. Oh no, a helmet actually is 25. So
yeah.
Well, I'm completely covered in flak armor, so you know I should get you lot armor first.
I've got flat armor on as well, so it's like we're armored out with Hayden, so it's like
Probably it's their pull
as well, because I don't really need anything.
I'll tell you what I'll do.
Credits to get them armored up was a pretty good deal, wasn't it, for each person?
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, 200 credits to start off with both of you is good. So.
Yeah, there you go. With your money, get shopping, you two. You've got our money as well to make it better.
Sorry, what are we doing then?
We're pulling. You both getting 100 credit bonus. Brian and you, Dave, get extra. No. We're both donating all our money to you two, so you can get armored up and get good.
Like I've
got 150 creds, so I can basically. I'm not sure I really want a flak helmet. I don't really think, it's the kind of thing my dude would wear, but he would go for a full flak jacket.
Yeah.
What's the armor? What's the armor on a flat cloak?
That's body only.
Cloak.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like James says, it's 3 points of armor and it's an 80 cost, but it's 3 points on your body, but only your body.
So I'm just thinking I would.
Yeah, I mean, everything that you would possibly wear here, Dave, is a bit out of sorts, but equally, do you want to get shot or not? It's, a decision you're going to have to make. So,
right. And a greatcoat is 100, you say?
A
greatcoat is 150.
Oh, 150.
50, but that's 4 to arms and body.
Yeah, that's good.
A flak jacket is arms, body, and legs.
How much is
3 for 100.
Right. Can we afford to get me a greatcoat for 150? Because I'm planning on keeping my legs tucked.
Yes, you can, because you get both you and Brownie are both getting 100 bonus on your 100 previous credits, so you got 200 spent.
Plus whatever credits you've got yourself. So
yeah,
so you've got 200. Yeah,
none at all.
Oh right, okay.
Are you going to do the same, Brownie?
Right. Well, so I'll get a greatcoat
as well.
Basically,
I'd probably go for the jacket, to be honest, the arms, body, and the legs, and that's 100 armor point 3.
Okay.
Well, I'll go.
So
I've got toughness 41 as well, so that should be all right between it all.
Well, I'll get the greatcoat because if I'm in melee, I'm fucked. My plan is to stay behind cover and shoot, which will give my legs extra armor anyway from the cover.
Cool.
So if I can get arms and body 4, and I'm only going to be sticking out one arm and my body and my head when I'm shooting. And I'm probably going to be ducking back in whenever I can.
I'll come up to 250 thrones then of armory credit.
Yep.
A flak jacket and a flak greatcoat.
So
that's what you wanted. So you'd still have 150 thrones left out of your combined.
Right. So let's get some technical shit that could come in useful for Alexa. What can we get?
Well, that's a bit trickier. Because a lot of it's quite expensive. So the combi tool is 200 thrones. So you couldn't afford that as it stands. And I think the Auspex is also... Oh, no, it's 145. So you could afford an Auspex.
Should we get an Auspex?
Auspex is good, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, let's...
Okay. Okay, so you've decided what you're wanting to buy.
Yep.
Okay, who's going to head off to the armory itself then? Like they seem to be going one at a time.
We need somebody to sway to.
Who's dwindled now? So
I'm going in.
Good.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay, as you head up towards the armory structure itself, Quintius, you see that there's a heavy stubber placed on the structure, and it's tracking you as you move up towards a plexiglass window, and you see the quartermaster, who is protected behind the shield of thick plexiglass.
Okay.
A nearby camera is scanning you thoroughly. So you see the quartermaster. He appears grossly fat and slightly greasy. He's wearing silk robes and appears to be sweating profusely.
Okay. I'm just going to... Sorry.
I was about to say, he has a bionic eye that you get the feeling is recording you.
Okay.
How may I be of service?
Okay.
You wish to make a withdrawal from the armory?
Good day, kind sir. Indeed, we do. In fact, we wish to make several. We're rather new here, as I'm sure you're aware, because we have not seen each other before. So tell me, how does this transaction take place? And at what point do we hand over these armory credits? It's a bit of a new system to me. Could you explain it?
Yes, of course. Please look at the data slate.
And you see there's an in-place data slate near to where you're stood. And you can look through that, and you can see the list that I've just shared with you preemptively. So you can see, you can see what is available in the armory and the numbers of units of each and the cost of each.
Okay.
And you have the chip that you have. You can just stick that into a slot that's next to the data slate, and it will make the transaction for you.
Okay.
So you can move through the slate. You can kind of tap what you want, and that'll instruct the quartermaster what you're looking for.
Okay. So are the other guys with me?
I don't know. Have you heading forward as well, guys?
I'll go in.
As you all muscle forward, the heavy stubber tracks you, and a voice comes over the town and goes,
"One at a time, please."
And, the heavy stubber is currently pointing straight at Arnold.
My dear man, I was under the impression that we could, as a team, a field operative team of the Inquisition, we could pool our resources. Is this not true? If this is true, then how can we possibly approach your counter one at a time?
Okay, make a charm test, please, though.
Righty-ho. That's not my character sheet. That's the orc pawn I was looking at earlier.
Okay.
Fuck. There we go. Hang on, I've got about a million windows open all of a sudden. There we go.
Spam.
Oh, I'm going to use a fate point.
Okay. Roll again, then.
This
How
isn't
many fate points do you have, by the way?
I have
One,
2.
two.
This isn't classed as a formal situation, is it?
This guy, you can't use etiquette here. This guy's not a noble of any kind, so your etiquette wouldn't come into play, I'm afraid. Not in this case.
Okay. That's even fucking shit. Yeah, I failed by 1%.
He goes, He goes, one at a time, no exceptions. You can pull your credits if you want, but if you must talk amongst yourselves, do it away from here and make way for the next person. You see that there's someone behind you in the queue who's kind of tapping his chrono.
We all move. I move away.
Okay.
Okay. The heavy stubber eases down.
I say, well, what I desire, my good man, is a armored coat. I believe you have in stock here, but I only have enough armory credits for 1 worth, and this is 150. I cannot possibly make the purchase without my companions, who have their own values to add to our collective wealth.
Go and see them then. Get away from here.
Okay, so I'm going to.
You see he's sweating more.
I'm just going to step to the side about socially distanced 2 meters.
Okay. Another person you've not met before comes up to the armory booth and puts in a chip, and he seems to make a withdrawal of some kind of booze, which he takes away.
Can I have a look at the? Can I examine the mechanics behind the automated heavy stubber and see if I can deactivate it somehow?
You can. It's basically situated on the roof of the structure, so you can't get close to it at the moment unless you climb up on top of it. But you can try and evaluate it from a distance.
Yeah, I'll evaluate it from a distance, and then I might approach it, see if I can remotely step into it.
Make a tech use test.
Okay. It's a fail. I'll use a fate point on this though.
Okay.
Still fail. Fuck.
Okay.
There we go. That's my fate point.
You're not sure how to deactivate it, Alexa. It looks like it's kind of inbuilt into the structure itself, and you think you might need to get access, at least to the cogitator system that's, running the structure. But yeah, you're not quite sure how you can get access to that from the outside. It's obviously, it looks like a defensive turret, and they're not too easy to shut down remotely. They're obviously designed to defend against this sort of idea.
Okay, cool.
Okay, so you're heading off. A guy in a queue gets himself some rock gut booze, and then there's space now if anyone else wants to go up.
Yeah,
or if you want to talk amongst yourselves, or
I will loop round, go up, and say, I'm just depositing my 100 creds for my mate's purchase as well. Yeah, and point to what's it called? Give me a second. Don't tell me.
Tell me.
Quintus. So
close enough.
Yeah, Quintus. I'm going to point to Quintus, who's waiting to one side, and say this money is for him and his purchase. So please get him the stuff he wants. Infidel man.
Core Master Dominic pats his greasy brow down with his damp handkerchief, and he nods at you, and you put your credit chip into the device, and you can see that the funds are being transferred into the computer system, and that your credit chip is now empty.
Thank you. I'm off. Bye.
Excuse me, my good man, and I slide back up to the window and say, it clearly says here 150 thrones, does it not?
Yes, you can read.
Oh,
yes,
well, I'm going to hang back when I hear this and start approaching him, the man, and say, yeah, that's right. We need it for our mission. This armor, little man. It's important to us. We pay the price. We know it's right.
Make an intimidate test, Aidan, -20, and I think you're testing at half because you don't have intimidate.
No, not yet. I'm gonna get it.
Okay,
I'm gonna fucking get it. But I'm so intimidated at work.
Hardly. You'd have to roll something really good. But no, I mean, he's totally well protected from you, and he's just not really swayed by your words.
Oh.
He knows that there's an armored structure in between you and him. He has a heavy stubber here to defend him if needs be. He's not concerned. In fact, he scoffs slightly.
Ha, scoff.
It's your foolishness.
My good sir, I understand commerce. Indeed, I have had many dealings with such things in the past. However, what I would like you to consider is that we are agents of the Holy Throne, and by extension, agents of probably your master too, Inquisitor Lucius. Now, how would you feel if I were to go and tell Inquisitor Lucius that you had received not only illicit funds by slicing a little layer off the top from one of his agents, but also from his cousin? I'd like to make a deceive test, if I can.
Okay.
Because I am a fucking liar. Shit! 3 degrees of
Okay.
failure.
Dominic, he looks at you and says, "Yes, talk to the master if you can. If he would see you, I would be interested to hear, to be a fly on the wall when you have that conversation." Yes. I think you're making things worse for yourselves. You're obviously new here. Now, please, give me the thrones for the purchase you wish to make, and put in a little something for me. And you see a little tray open up.
Give him
Like a
give him
little,
some.
you push the button. There's a little tray opens up that you could put things in.
Can I put a hand grenade in there?
Do you have a hand grenade?
No, I wish I did.
You could. I mean, theoretically, yes, you could put a hand grenade
Here's a
in there.
little extra.
If you wanted to wage war upon the ship that you're like the crew members that you're working with, then yeah, you could.
Just this guy. Just this guy.
Just this guy.
Just this
Just
guy. Don't like him.
I'm just going to.
He's on the tape, man.
I'm going to lean close to the window and just say, "I would like to see how brave you are when you're not in your protective cage and my friend finds you," and just step away from the window.
Okay. So what's happening now? Darnold has discharged 100 thrones into the system. Are you leaving without making a purchase, Dave, or what's the Yarn doing at this moment? And Alexa, what are you two doing?
I've put my 100 thrones in for my flat coat already.
Okay,
So
yeah,
how much flat coat?
150.
He's overcharged us. Ooh.
Oh,
Ooh.
just
So-
buy it. Just buy
So
it.
you wanted to make the purchase then before you go, just to
Yeah. But he
okay.
wants. The problem is, of course, that he wants something extra for himself, and
Yes.
I
Give him 2
can't
thrones.
give him anything
Give him 2
extra.
thrones.
So you can't put anything else extra in there to appease him. So he heads off, talks to a servitor, which goes off and gets a flak greatcoat, and then he puts the drawer comes back in. He puts the great jacket into the drawer again, which comes out again, and you can take the great jacket from him. And there's now 50 thrones left in the system.
Is there? I thought we'd just blown 200 thrones on that. I thought he was.
No, he's only charged you for 150 for it.
Okay.
I mean, I'll tell you this out of character. I'm that game a bit myself. He's not really interested in armory credits. He's more interested in things of actual value,
Right.
such as real money or something else, something of value. So, so what now? There's 50 thrones in the cogitator. Arnold and Quintius have moved away. What about Alexa and Yarn? What are you two doing?
I'll put my chip forward. Just I'd like to do. I'll pass it to you, your character, James. And just take this. Get what you need.
I thank you, brother. Sister.
Okay, are you walking up? Are you walking up to the armory then, James?
Yeah.
Okay, so there's now 150 thrones in the system.
Before Brown has even put his 100 in.
I'm not going to put any fucking money in the system until. Is that what Johnny's done? Johnny's put his money in.
That's Johnny's money, and it's also Hayden's leftover money.
Yeah.
Right. And do I need
so
those
generous.
as well, or is Has Dave just got his armor?
No, the all specs hasn't been bought yet.
Right.
Dude, armor,
How much
Brody.
is the all
Take
specs?
yourself.
Okay, all specs is 145.
And what I want is
Flat jacket, which is 100. So
right.
that's 245 total, and there's 150 in. So if you put your 100 in, that would come up to 250, and
Okay.
that'd cover it.
Perfect.
Are you doing so?
Well, I'll request the flak jacket and
Okay.
and ore specs and ask him how much that's going to be.
He goes, that will be 245 thrones, and I see that you have 250 available.
Give him five throne credit, like bonus
Mhm.
being amicable.
Yeah.
At the end of all this.
By all means, take 250 mark.
Because I'm not really interested in armory credit, but perhaps you could put something in it for me. And the little empty drawer opens up. He holds his hand out.
Drachma. I'll give him a drachma.
Fucking no one wants your drachma, man.
Freaking
Are you going to bribe him, James, or not?
No.
I'll I'm just looking at ammo, Al. Give me a sec. What else can I get with my money then?
Read.
Oh, right.
You've got another 50 thrones, is it, of real money? Is that right?
Have I? 100.
Yeah.
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 No.
So you
No.
Sure.
There was 50 in, wasn't there?
So after all your armory credits spent, there'll be 5 thrones left of armory credit. But your actual real money, I've got down here, you've got 52 credits.
Yes.
That's a total of 57, including the credit. But he does seem to be expecting some kind of payoff as well.
I'll put I've got 17 thrones. I'll just hand those to your character. I'll be like,
Okay. So you've now got a total of
like a sigh from the box girl.
you've got a total of 64 thrones, including.
Okay, can I have
including
a... Oh, it's not... Give me another 2 charge packs for my last pistol. And...
so what are they 10 each, or are they 10 each? Are they
10, yes, yeah.
So your last pistol are so 10
right,
each for your charge
so
packs.
I'll just get
So
one
15.
extra.
Oh yeah, it's 10.
Yeah.
Okay, so plus
Okay,
one charge pack.
And actually, Johnny's given me 17, so that's 2, and then 2 of mine, so 4. So yeah, I'll get 2 upgrade packs, or 2 normal charge packs for another 20.
So 2 upgrade packs. What do you mean?
2 charge packs. Just 2 last pistol.
So 2 charge packs for a pistol. Yes, that's 20. That's 20 thrones. That leaves you with 44, including the armory credit.
As the other character, not Alexa, Quintus.
And then I'll
got enough ammo as well. So
yeah, I'm for ammo.
You've got enough ammo, yeah.
and I'll pass him 14 of my own credits.
14.
Yes.
Okay, so that leaves. Okay, so we've got 60. If you had 64, including 5, and then we spent 20, so that brings you down to 44. So you have 39 credits of your own. Oh no, so minus 14, so that's 35. So that leaves you 25 thrones, yeah? And there's 5 thrones of armory credit. Is that right?
This is including the armory credit, because if he doesn't want armory credit, I may as well give him creds off my own back. So that's 265 credits total. 250 of which is armory credit. Johnny gave me 17, sorry. So
17.
I should have
Okay.
40 left after I've given him 14.
Okay, so you have 40 thrones left. He looks at what you've put into the tray when he brings it back, and he looks at it and he just shakes his head. But he gets you the Auspex, the great jacket, and the 2 charge packs, and he puts them in the tray, and it extends again, and you can take those items out.
Nice.
And he goes, "Pleasure doing business with you. We'll come again."
You better hope there's an again.
Not sure if that was a threat or a doomy prophecy.
Okay. So you're done in the armory now, guys. You're done in the armory. You've done all your shopping.
Yeah,
As I shrug into my
set off, haven't we?
rather stylish new flat greatcoat, I mutter to Yarn, who I'm stood near, and say, "I've dealt with the likes of him before. He'll not see a throne of mine."
He might not see another day yet.
Quintius just grins back at Yarn. Yes.
Can I try and turn up the heating in his boot? Can I fuck with his
There's no data ports you can access, but you can try and hack in remotely.
I will. I'm gonna try and
Make a
hack
tech.
it remotely. Okay. Pass on a 21. That's 2 degrees.
21. So how many? There's 2 degrees of success. Okay. You can't get in, Johnny. You try, but it's just not easy. It's just not easy to hack in. They've got some serious firewalls there, and it's almost like he expects people to try and mess with him.
Try and nobble him.
Yeah, there's.
Damn it.
Unfortunately, it's too difficult for you to hack in.
Stubborn machine spirits.
Random question, Al. Have we met
Yeah.
the Inquisitor yet? We haven't, have we? No. Okay.
No. Okay, what are you doing, guys?
I guess we ought to head to the. I forgot to write it down, but whatever the shuttle bay was, Tertius something, was it?
Wait a second.
That's back. That's way back now. Yeah, you know where you need to go. You can ask the servitor to take you there.
Tula and
I didn't
Okay.
write down that
Great.
prophecy that I made, so if you could
Great.
maybe send that to me at some point. Al.
Bertrand of the House.
Yep. Okay, mate. We'll do.
Undercover. Governor Crookshank.
Yeah, I didn't write.
I'll probably write a better job. I'll probably write a better job, seeing as I had to fucking make it up as I went along. So I certainly wasn't expecting you to roll a 1 on your initial soothsaying. I hadn't predicted that. I'd written a nice little soothsaying bit, and I thought, oh yeah, I'd prepared. And then you rolled a 1, and it's like, oh, okay. And I have to make it really succeed now. Shit.
I didn't write it down because I don't make notes of things my character wouldn't know.
I bet your notes are better than mine, Dave.
I'm at 2.5 pages.
Yeah. So you go to the servitor and you tell him that you need to go to the shuttle bay.
Yeah.
And he escorts you there. It's not too far away. You've already passed it, but you go back up towards the prow of the vessel, and you already passed it.
Okay.
So you enter the shuttle bay. It's cavernous, and it houses multiple cargo lifters and gun cutters. And there's a small army of crewmen and servitors that can be seen tending to the flight craft. On the far side of the bay, you can see out into space and spy distant stars and nebula. The atmosphere is contained by force fields. And the servitor moves off towards one of the cargo lifters, which was described to you earlier, which is, cargo lifter Gamma 8.
Gamma 8.
Gamma 8.
Charles.
And there is a uniformed gentleman stood outside there. He seems to be waiting. He seems to see you as you approach.
Okay. I'm going to walk and say, "Good day, sir. I believe we were ordered to report here for a lift planetside."
Oh, yes. Hello, chaps. Flight Lieutenant Ash. Pleased to meet you, I'm sure. I shall be taking you down into the planet's surface. Are you all ready for departure?
I believe so. Are we ready, chaps and chapette?
Go.
Okay, so
Yeah, jawohl.
Okay, so before we set off, let me give you this long-range Vox unit.
Ooh.
and he hands over a long-range Vox unit, and he gives it to Alexa. As well as these comm beads, he gives you a long-range Vox unit, Johnny, and he also hands out comm beads to each of you. It says, "Whatever you do, don't lose the blasted thing. This will allow you to contact me later on." It says, "Also, do take these tickets as well. They will give you passage on the locomotive to Chula Port." And he beckons you into the cargo lifter.
Thank you, my good man. That's most gracious of you. I do appreciate a little good manners once in a while, especially after the ordeal we just had at the hands of that quartermaster in the ship. Bit of a strange fellow, isn't he?
Dominic, I was going to say Dominic Cummings there, but Dominic Peters. Yes, that bastard. That bastard's on the take. Everyone knows it, but no one can get to him. He's dug in like a scintilla tick.
Well, in my experience, Lieutenant Ash, people like that usually get what's coming to them.
Well, yes, I mean, if something was to happen to him, I think there'd probably be celebrations on the ship. Yes. I'd buy the fellow a drink for sure.
Well, make sure you make good on that promise, Lieutenant. He won't be in there for long.
Jolly good.
So he gets you all strapped in with some. Sorry.
Personal campaign.
Dave. Oh, for the record, Dave, your etiquette would work with Lieutenant Ash.
Ah, right, yeah.
If you do need,
would, by the way,
you get the. Very good. So you recognise that he's, if he's not noble born, he must have some, he's definitely upper class if nothing else.
Okay.
So he gets everyone strapped in. Gets you all strapped in to some of the chairs which are there.
It says the descent can get rather choppy.
And then he heads off to the cockpit.
Okay.
The plasmodians kick into action, and the cargo lifter slowly pivots out of the cargo bay. The viewport is closed. But if it was open, you would see this world.
Ooh.
But it's not, so you don't.
Open it.
Here's the thing you don't see.
Exactly right, Dave. Exactly right. 10 minutes pass, 20, all is calm and uneventful. And then you feel the lifter vibrating, subtly at first, and then more and more energetically, until the whole craft lurches violently. You're flung around in your seat this way and that. So I'd like toughness tests for everyone, apart from Arnold, who seems to be getting some sleep.
I fail.
What? I'm not asleep.
No, you're a sleeping character.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. He's getting a nap in. So toughness test for everyone else, please. Oh, Dave. Dave, have you made a pass yet? The rolls are as bad as your 40k rolls.
3 degrees of failure.
1 degree of failure for me.
Okay, so for all of you, you react really badly to this descent. It's violent. You're being thrown around. Quintius vomits. He loses his grok stew which he had earlier. So he spews everywhere, and there's a smell of bile, and his stomach fluids which have been sprayed around, and the fluids are flying this way and that, and it's just disgusting. It's just yarn. You take some massive bruising where you're strapped in, and yeah, you're just being thrown around like rag dolls.
And me, I sleep peacefully in my bed.
You're just getting a snooze in, Arnold. So as you the descent
is unnatural.
The descent is
juice all over me.
the descent is as unpleasant as any of you have ever experienced before, assuming that you have. It's a relief when the lifter touches down at its destinations. Charles heads back and he unbuckles you and he says,
Somebody wake up Arnold.
I was going to say that myself. God damn it. I'm just mopping at my face, wiping off chunks of carrot, even though I haven't eaten carrot.
What happened to my guy, to Alexa? Because she fell by 3 degrees.
Yeah, you took a lot of. You feel that you might have taken some internal damage. You've been banged around, and you think that some of your augmetic systems have been jolted. You need to basically make a diagnostic at some point when you get the chance to assess the damage that you may have taken. But yeah, you're concerned at your internal system integrity.
Your gyroscope is compromised.
Has anybody managed to wake me yet?
Don't know. Is anyone waking Arnold?
I'm going to try and wake Arnold. I'm just going to go up and shake him and go, Arnold! Arnold, my good man!
Strength
I
test.
feel the hand. Yeah, as I feel the hand touch my shoulder.
A tiny child's hand.
Oh no! Arnold grabs it.
What are you trying to do? What are you trying to do here, mate? Oh,
it's a reaction.
grabbing his hand.
because he touched me while I was sleeping, and like as he touched me, I've like caught him. Like,
okay, so you're asleep, and on Fenris, you always have to sleep, with one eye open because someone tried to attack you. You need to be ready to defend yourself. Any of the mythical and horrendous beasts that roam the surface of Fenris, and you're woken up even though the shaking and the ship's descent doesn't wake you. As soon as you feel a hand touch you, a tiny, small hand, you immediately instinctively grab it and squeeze at it, and you make an attack against Quintia. So I'd like you to roll a. No, sorry, you've already hit with your one.
oh, okay.
I'd like you to roll damage, which is. So what have we got here then? So it's unarmed. So it's not a D.
Plus 5.
It's a D5, isn't it?
D5. So that's
D5 minus 1, I think, for unarmed, or minus 2.
So that's correct. So it's a 4 minus 1, which is 3, and then plus your strength, which is 5.
Yeah.
That's a total of 8. And what have you hit? What's a 1? That would be. Is that the head?
Yeah.
Perhaps.
Yeah, it is.
Now you didn't buy a helm, did you?
No.
Actually, no, it's got to be the. No, sorry, it's got to be the arm, Dave. You grabbed your arm.
Yeah.
So, but you do have armor on your arm now. It's flak armor, isn't it?
I grabbed
What did we say?
hand.
Great coat. It's
4.
Great coats.
I grabbed his hand.
Great. We'll say you grab his. I mean, he has got armor on this location.
Okay.
So you grab his. You grab his wrist, but he has got his great coat here. So great coat is 4. Is that right?
Yep.
Flak, and it's doubled against a primitive attack.
Yeah.
So it's an armor of 8 plus your toughness, which is
2.
2. So that's a total of 10. So Hayden did a total of 8. So fortunately for you, you bought some armor and you put it on. And Hayden grasps your wrist, and you feel the armor taken. You feel how strong he is, despite the fact you're wearing armor. And you think, "Thank fuck, I'm wearing this armor." And then suddenly the armor cracks and breaks, and the whole section of your forearm armor just peels away. And you didn't take any damage, but your you're left-handed, aren't you?
Left-handed.
So your left arm is now unarmored.
Fuck.
Sorry. Don't wake me while I sleep.
Credits well spent, my dear boy.
You do, you know enough about armor to understand that this isn't meant to happen. And you get the feeling that Dominic has done you in.
Let me.
And you wonder about the rest of the gear he's given you guys. And
I'm gonna try and I'm gonna pick. Up, I'm gonna once I get up out of the chair, I'm gonna pick up the piece of that and try and repair it for him. you know, if I can.
Well, yeah, I mean, you can have a go at repairing. If you pick up the pieces, and when you get the chance, you can maybe have a go at repairing, but you'll need some time to do so. Okay, you've landed.
I believe, gentlemen, that we may have been stitched up by that sweaty mess.
No. 9.
Okay.
It's not feel that good to be stitched up by such a sweaty man. To break him upon my anvil and smash his head entirely to pieces.
Oh, my dear Arnold, I will help you with that.
Thank you, you little kind man.
I swear on my tiny hands that his life will be ended.
Oh, he's got a tiny hand. I'm sorry. You should not touch me while I'm sleeping. I'm a trained killer.
A lesson learned, Arnold. A lesson learned.
Would it be possible
so
for a tech priest to check what we have? And
yeah, with time. But you certainly can. But at the minute, Flight Lieutenant Ash, he says, "Come on, hurry on now, lads. You should be able to make your train if you don't tarry. Good luck."
Thank you, Lieutenant. Pleasure meeting you. Hope to see you again soon.
Gamma 8.
Let's proceed.
Yeah, so it seems like Alexa has a lot of work to do when she gets a chance. But yeah, like I say, so you need a bit of free time before you can start doing this work, Johnny.
Yeah. Okay.
So are you heading out?
Yes. Yep. Let's head out.
Okay. So the sun, Orpheus, hangs heavy in the sky, beating down upon you, and you are struck by how hot and humid it is. You all break into a sweat almost immediately. The sky looks shades of yellow and green. You also see one of the moons that orbit Orpheus 4, large in the sky despite the time of day. Beyond the moon, you see something else, writ large across the sky. Something abhorrent. You gaze upon something unnatural, something deeply wrong. It's something that you've never seen before. You see a rip in the fabric of space. It looks nothing so much as a wound in the universe itself. A wound that will never heal. Around this rift, huge waves of energy are in play. Tidal waves of force and unreal power. The colours look too bright and strange, as if they should not exist. The predominant colour is red. It seems to you that blood is spilling out across the sky. These warp storms, this vast, roiling, seething cauldron of imperial energies playing out around the rift, is both exciting and addictive to look upon, yet equally disturbing to your soul. You feel sick. You feel like your life has changed forever. The air around you seems greasy and charged with electricity. The smell and taste of burnt fat is all-encompassing. Okay, so everyone gains 1 corruption point.
Oh, could I test
with the? I was about to say
some way.
Just hang on a sec. I was about to say that you come from a world where the boundary between the warp and the real universe is very thin, and you know the warp is kind of in your blood in a sense because of your home world. So you get the chance to resist this with a successful willpower test.
Okay.
Wait, that's what the fuck's just gone on?
What's going on?
My roll 20 just split into about 20 tiny roll 20s and then merged back into one. It was really weird.
Can I do a lucky or a knack, Al?
You would need to cast it before you gazed upon it, so it's kind of caught you a bit by surprise. So if you knew that you were going to make this test and prepared yourself with the psychic powers, you could do so. Okay. So regrettably, you gain a corruption point as well, James. So everyone in the party gains a corruption when you gaze upon this warp rift that hangs upon above you in the sky. Okay.
I'm just going to point my cane at the rift in the sky and go, "What on terror is that? That's not normal, is it? Surely."
Certainly not normal. Although I'll send you a message, Dave.
Package. Do not look up on it, my brother.
I sort of glance at Yarn, glance back at the rift, glance at Yarn, back at the rift, lower my cane, look at Yarn, and nod and swallow. He might be a coward, but he's not a stupid man.
Okay, I've sent you a message. Dave. Have you got your phone?
There are
Dave?
things in
Yeah.
that men are not meant to gaze upon.
Okay.
That's okay, because I'm a woman.
So yeah, you feel a little bit sick in your mouths, but are you ready to move on to the train?
Yeah, let's head towards the train.
I'm going to slap her on the back.
So what you're going to do? What? Sorry, James.
You are funny, my lady. No, just laughing and slapping the tech priest on the back. Basic humour resonates with the tribal men.
Sorry, I missed that one, Johnny. Would you mind repeating it for me?
It was a cock joke.
It's a gaze that no, so it's not.
I said there are things that men are not meant to gaze upon, and she went, but I am a woman.
Very good. Very good. So, what are you doing?
Head towards the train.
Yeah.
Or train station,
Okay.
or whatever there is that's
Yeah,
train.
yeah. So, I mean, you look around this. You look around this so-called spaceport, and the facility is basic at best, and calling it basic is probably overstating things. It's a little more than a spread of rockcrete and some warehousing of the occasional vehicle. And you see a little station away from you a bit, where the train is.
This tiny little train, like the one that used to be at Normanby Park. That's my bedroom. That's what I can see.
In the Emperor's name.
With all the
Emperor's name, we ride.
in the background, like.
In the Emperor's name, we ride.
A train built for small hands, my boy.
Little spoon to shovel coal into it. You know what I mean? You'll have to use two hands, though, Dave.
I can only get one piece at a time. Help me.
Okay, you see the train at the station. Electrical discharge is crackling over the engine itself, and you see several passenger cars, followed by cargo cars and bulk transports for liquids. You see on these bulk transports pictograms that are associated with promethium. So it appears that the cargo is highly flammable.
Ah.
As a GM, I'd just like to say shit.
Are you getting on board?
Let's bomb the train.
Yeah, we best get on board. Yeah, let's go.
Yeah, getting on board. Good. Okay, you head to your passenger cart, and the four of you and one other passenger. There's this gentleman. He's wearing a smart suit, and he has ginger hair, and he's wearing a little bowler hat. The train starts and begins its journey.
How close is the gentleman?
Should we just sit round him?
You can do.
On the seats.
I'm going to sit opposite him and just stare at him.
You can do if you want.
Yeah.
So you can
I'm gonna
sit
sit-
around him if you choose. I mean, he's picked a seat when he sat down, so you can choose your own seats.
I'm going to sit as far away as I can from him in this carriage.
Okay. And he looks across at the train's making a good pace, and you see the landscape rolling by, marshland and forest for the most part. And the train periodically halts at little fly-speck villages and outposts along the way. And you see this little guy, and he sees that you're staring at him, Arnold. And he goes, he seems quite nervous.
Yeah. I want to see him twitch. I'll just lean forward a little bit more, only a little bit, to just intensify my gaze.
He obviously doesn't like this, and he just starts to make up some nervous conversation. He goes, "Well, pleasure to meet you, Obadiah Grace. You must be from Offworld."
I'm not going to say anything. I'm just going to carry on looking at him. I was making polite conversation with me and just stick my head a bit further forward to his hand if he sticks it out. And then sit back down and carry on looking at him.
Despite the fact that I'm sat as far away as possible, can I see him talking to Arnold?
Yeah. The passenger car isn't too, it's not too large. You can see what's going on. You can hear the conversation or the lack of it coming from Arnold.
I'm just going to spend a lot of time watching this new man, listening to how he speaks, studying his mannerisms, taking in how he dresses, how he acts, what he looks like, things like that.
Okay. You spend a good portion of time observing him.
Okay.
I'm going to run a diagnostic on my systems while we're traveling.
Okay, make a tech use test. So you're doing an internal diagnostic, yeah?
Yeah, pass.
Okay. Okay, very good. You are doing your internal diagnostic, and it's as you thought. Some of your internal systems have taken some damage. Your feeding tube that's connected to your pinky finger that you used to eat through has become dislodged, and you're going to need to do a repair upon yourself before you'll be able to eat again.
I'll start doing that repair.
Okay.
Now.
Okay. So I'd like you to make 3 tech use tests, and this is over a period of time.
Okay. First one is a 1. Second one is a 94.
So you rolled a 1 on your first roll.
Yeah, straight away, yeah.
Actually, if you think like I say, guys, if you roll a 1, it's a natural critical, if you like. So before you even carry on testing, you actually realize it's actually not that hard. It was a lot easier than you thought it was, or maybe you're just that good. But you repair it in a fraction of the time that you thought it would take to fix.
I'll then look at the armor, Dave's armor thing.
You taking your armor off, Dave, when you're giving it to him?
Yeah, if Alexa's
I'll come over.
shoot out my jacket. Yeah.
Allow me.
Okay, make a tech use test.
Thank you, Alexa.
You are welcome. 64, which is a fail to start with.
Okay, you're going to need a bit more time to examine this, but you can tell immediately that there's something wrong with this armor. It's not up to specification.
I've got some spare parts and stuff like that. I don't know if I could do anything with that.
Yeah. You can maybe work on it, but like I say, it's going to need some time. So while you're having a look at this, can I ask what Jan is doing and what Hayden is doing? I say this is going on. It's maybe taken a couple of hours since you've set off from the train station thus far. So what's Jan doing in this time? You don't have to do anything. You can just relax.
Yeah.
Salt the bone.
Yeah.
Bone.
What do I
You
ask?
can you can also read other people with bones, James. It doesn't have to be yourself. Well, obviously, you need their consent.
Yeah, I still don't know what to ask yet, really. Yeah, I'll do nothing at the moment.
Okay, fair enough. And Hayden, you're just psyching out this random
He's lost
businessman
interest
or whatever he is.
He looks like a shivering now. So
yeah, you definitely you think you've intimidated him.
yeah, so I've stopped my ploy there because I've got a bit bored. I'm gonna make a bit of small talk of a group and go, hey, so where you guys from?
Scintilla, actually, Hive Tarsus, to be precise. You may have heard of the Hive Tarsus. Tarsus, yes.
Tarsus, yes.
Tarsus, Arnold. You may have heard of Hive Sibyllus, the capital of the sector. Well, Tarsus is the second city, and in my opinion, and the opinion of a great many other people of Hive
Well,
Tarsus.
who
We
cares
should
about people's
risk it.
opinions if it don't shed blood?
Oh, there's blood aplenty.
Oh, do you mean that?
Well, of course. It's a hive city, my dear boy. There's always blood being spilled somewhere.
I've heard I've heard stories about hive cities. Hive cities, they say, where the scum and villainy crawl the way up through the woodwork to the top of the spire.
Indeed, it
and
does.
down upon the others with disdain.
I look around conspiratorially so that no one else can hear this and just lean into Arnold and say, they blame the lower lives, those that live in the underhive and the low hive, but the truth is, those at the top are just as corrupt and villainous as those at the bottom. Believe me, I've seen it.
I always think if you can get out, you can give it a shout, can't you? If you get stuck.
Yes. Yes,
so good.
Would you guys make an awareness test each?
Okay.
So that's half perception, unless you have awareness.
I do have awareness.
Okay, so full perception then. Will this be the time that you succeed in a roll?
Probably not. Nope.
Don't ever change. Okay, so everyone's failed. What about and Johnny? You failed as well, didn't you?
I failed miserably.
So-
I'm busy working on what I remember doing on the armor.
Okay, so none of you pick up anything unusual. So Johnny, you're continuing to work on this on the suit of armor,
Yep.
and I want you to make another tech use test, please.
Okay. 18. So pass. 2 degrees.
Okay, so as you examine it and
3 degrees,
you're looking
sorry.
at it closer,
3 degrees.
okay. As you're looking at it, and you're getting to really examine it closely, you're coming to the conclusion that it's pretty much worthless. This flak jacket. You're probably better off trying to, rebuild it from scratch. He's passed you off with something which is, close to worthless. It might take one hit, maybe on a location, and then it's just probably going to disintegrate, like what happened when Arnold grabbed hold of it.
Oh, wow.
Quintius is angry.
I have some bad news, Quintius. This is a substandard flag coat. It will take maybe one hit at best on any location before it is destroyed. I suggest you get your money back.
Arnold?
Yes. What do you want?
Will you do me a favor? 2, in fact.
Just waffle, little man.
First of all, try not to hit me, even playfully. And secondly, will you help me kill that quartermaster when we get back?
But won't that start trouble for the rest of our journey? You have to lure him out and kick him off the edge without anybody seeing. I could throw him quite a long way.
We must be cautious, yes, we must.
We need to find out his routines, his motions,
Yes.
where he goes daily, and then throw him off in a place where nobody sees him. It's the only way.
Perhaps the airlock would be useful.
Airlock's fun in this
My
state
dear
without doing
friends.
that.
My dear new friends, I think we're going to get along fabulously.
An explosion rocks the train.
Fucking
For a
cold.
second, you feel the locomotive lurch, and you wonder whether it'll stay on its tracks. You hear gunfire, screaming.
Yo, the GM is oppressive, yo.
I'm going to draw my auto pistol and cower behind the chair I'm sitting on.
Okay, for the first thing, I'm going to try and get you tokens onto the map. Secondly, you're going to have to roll for initiative. But it's my first play around with the tokens. So what's the best way to put the tokens on? So when you've got a what's the best way to put the characters on the board, Dave? When you're starting off on a map?
Oh my god, you've got an animated fucking
That's awesome.
map. That's beautiful. What I tend to do is, Al, I tend to have them already placed, but I put them on the GM layer.
Oh, I
And
feel
then
like
I go to the GM layer and highlight the ones I want and
That's fine. That makes perfect sense. Obviously, I didn't know what people were taking beforehand, so I'm just going to have to do that now. So just give me a second while I put your characters into the map. So where is?
Why you do that?
Yeah, no problem. So I can't remember which one everyone is. Oh, this is awkward. I've made it more complicated for myself by. So that's Johnny. So we can put Johnny there.
Yeah.
And then we've got James, who is that one. And then we have Wood. Okay, that one's not there. Which one was Hayden? Hayden is...
Fuck off.
What are you doing, Dave?
I just rolled.
You're rolling for initiative.
Yeah.
Okay, so characters, we have that one. So that's Hayden. And then Dave's is tucked away.
I am impressed with the little animated train carriage. That's really cool.
Awesome.
yeah, I feel like I'm in a Final Fantasy game.
Yeah.
Cool, I'm glad you like it. Let me just find
Actually,
Dave's.
ever
It's someone.
Ever since we got on the train, I've been sat doing this to simulate being on a train. And now I look at the screen, I feel a bit motion sick.
I hope not. I hope not. I do obviously unanimated ones if it is causing a problem. I hope it's not genuinely making it. Okay, so well, where's Dave?
10 plus.
So that's Dave.
What do you add for your?
Okay.
What do you add? Sorry,
Agility.
For your, agility.
Agility, mate.
I get 4 in total.
Unless you've got a skill to add perception or
Yeah.
intelligence.
Yeah.
Some people get the odd bonuses as well for like builds and shit.
So
I'm busy examining this jacket and just realising how tatty it is. So,
I haven't even got my armor, have I?
Tech Heresy, Johnny.
No, you don't have your armor. All you're wearing is you've got your quilted vest on underneath, so you've still got that. But really, you feel quite naked when you're hearing this gunfire go off.
I want to refer in future. I want to refer to my quilted vest as my tank top, if that's okay.
Tank top. You can refer to it however you would like.
Yeah.
Alexa, control.
Because it's about as effective as a tank top.
Would you like your coat back?
A spirit animal is with us, brothers.
Let's see where we are, and then.
Yeah, I'm just. It's just going to take me a little sec. I'll say I didn't have it all prepared, you see, because I didn't know what characters you were taking. But hopefully for next time I'll be a bit better prepared.
Yeah, it gets more fluid as you go on. It really does. Roll 20. It becomes second nature after a while.
Mm-hmm. So Arnold, controlled by Hayden. 1. Okay, so I'm hoping that you all. Oh, that doesn't look very good. I'm hoping that you all now have a character that you can see their name and you can control them.
Looks like it.
Yeah.
So, and then so that's roughly where you're. Actually, you were a little bit further away, weren't you? Actually, let me. Oh no, I fucked this up a little bit. Just hang on a sec. Okay, hang on a sec, mate. So, no, I've put you down as Johnny. So I'll put me down as me, and I can't see you, Dave. You're not on the list. Why aren't you on the list, Dave?
That's
really weird.
That's your thing.
I'm going to put all players you can be controlled by.
Do not jump.
I've got to put you back for a second, Johnny.
Yeah.
So, so can you control yourself now?
Yeah.
You can, great. Okay.
Do not fucking jump, cat.
I know.
Okay. So, Obadiah.
Middle of absolute chaos.
Mine's decided she's having enough people for now. Look, she's over there.
Yeah, mine ran off and she just come back.
Okay, guys. Okay, guys. Bandits burst in from both sides of the carriage.
screaming, "Freeze! Nobody move!"
And
I'm
that,
just
and
gonna,
that,
and that's how it's going to end.
yeah, so that's where we'll end it for tonight. And